is a
Oh,
cold temperature in Texas. Sorry.
Mm.
oh, I don't know, freezing, I guess.
Oh,
I
okay.
mean, yeah, they get freezing. I
I
mean,
have
they
no
had
idea.
the snowstorm, that like really dangerous snowstorm that killed
Yeah,
like
I thought
quite a
that was
few
like
people.
once in a whatever 100 years type of or
No, it
historic.
freezes every year for like 2 weeks. It's just it's
Okay,
like, well,
I
it
don't
depends where you're
know.
at. If you're like Dallas or Amarillo, it's like snowing. But like, I
Mm.
mean, not like in Michigan or something, but like where you live, I'm sure it's like
Oh
cold
shit!
here. But like
What?
we get some snow like in the northern
Oh,
parts, and then once you get the once in 20 year thing, that's like sort of snow San Antonio or further south. San Antonio gets snow every 3 years. Like if you go to Corpus and they get snow, it's like once every like 8, 9.
Okay.
did you
You,
put
you just continue.
Wick in the group?
He was in it earlier. We were in the first one. I could just move him out real quick.
I mean, it's fine one way or the other. It's just like I'm
Well, if we share the
surprised.
chat, then it's gonna be a totally unrelated
Uh,
chat merged in with ours.
well, he was about to end, so I'm assuming that he's leaving. I can just kick him
Okay.
and remove. Perfect. He's
Mm.
gone.
I have a question. So I came across there's an article that apparently I don't know actually like how this is going to be implemented, or actually I know how it's going to be implemented, but rather when it's going to be implemented. But I believe Harvard is like moving in the direction of like capping the amount of A's that they can give, because that's
For
there's this
grade
issue.
inflation.
Yeah, and like I recognize the problem of grade inflation, but I don't know that capping the amount of A's is like a good solution to that.
What do you think is the
That's what
solution?
law school does, by the way. There's only so many in the class that can get an A.
I think that's stupid. Yeah, I
Does
mean, just
every
like
law school do
I'm
that?
generally
I don't think
against like
everyone does that.
curving grades,
Most,
like
most that I'm aware of.
like
Yeah, that's surprising. And like, oh, I mean, so if AIDS, well, maybe Lacto do like that, right? Like, if A's are a finite resource, right, then maybe we can create a market for A's. Um, and
it's
it's like if it's a commodity, right? We can
There's a lot
trade
of
back and forth. We
competition.
can bid.
a
There already,
central
but there
planning
already
of
is.
grades.
I think
Yeah,
now
central
that I'm thinking
planning.
about it,
Yeah, artificially constraining the A's. That's central planning. That's even a better way, right?
but
Do you
well,
support that, Lactoid? Do you support central planning? What are your thoughts, Lactoid?
they
I mean,
already have a market for this though.
So the A's appear to be a response to a market failure, which is these fucking professors just dumping out A's. I'm sorry,
I agree, it's a problem, but I don't think
it
that's the
is
solution to the problem.
okay.
Yeah.
I had a professor
What would
my
be the
freshman year. He
solution
literally
be?
said, "Well,
Well,
I had a professor my
go ahead.
freshman year of law school. He said, or not freshman year, I guess year 1L or whatever. He goes, oh, if you use what's that website, Quinby or whatever, and then you'll probably get a C in my class, but you won't get higher. I
You
was
went to
like,
law school?
interesting. Yeah,
That's why I'm trying to wrap
yeah.
my head around here too.
we've
Like,
talked about this.
this is new information for me.
I've never heard this from you. So you've
Yeah,
been
we talked about this. We've talked about the evicted thing. I went to St. Mary's for like a year, and then I got mid-divorce. I dropped out to handle the divorce, and then I went and did other shit.
okay.
Oh, I'm sorry, Fred.
Yeah, it's all right. I made more money probably than I would have made. Every time like something bad, I had the contract to fight CM Punk in the UFC, and then I broke my fucking busted my knee, and it's like every time something bad's happened, I'm like, well, thank God those guys got paid shit. I'd made way more money now.
Now you can hire people who, like Lacto who graduate law school. Okay,
that's right.
Good work. But yeah, still, I don't like bad things happening to you one way or the other.
Yeah,
So shout out to you.
It builds character.
Fair. I don't know. You're also pretty terrible. So maybe
I didn't say it's good character development. It's just,
fair. But yeah, Lactoid, or maybe Corey, you want to share your thoughts as to the solution that Lactoid asked for?
Well, like I recognize it's a problem, and so as someone who is an educator, I see I encounter students that probably passing courses, or I've seen it firsthand of like faculty are lazy. Okay, and like for some faculty, it's like I don't want to deal with like the bureaucracy of like what happens if I fail this. Yeah, they're going to complain. Same thing of like faculty are lazy. It also in the context of like plagiarism of like your duty as an educator is like you're supposed to like look out for academic misconduct. But I've totally had the situation of like I see I've literally I can see what the student has written and it's like literally copy and paste from Wikipedia and like according to the rules, you're supposed to like flag it, but then like the professor's like, well, I don't want to deal with the bureaucracy, so let's just like let it slide. And so it's like, so with the A's, like, yes, the incentives are pretty much like encourage inflating grades. From what I understand, like there's this issue of like well, obviously they want to have as many students enroll like in their institutions, because like I think depending on the institution, like is tied to funding and all that stuff. And like, yes, there's this aspect of like complaints. But like, I don't think this is the solution because like you're just going to screw over the people that do deserve an A, or like there's gonna as in there'll be students that deserve an A but not going to get it because it's like whatever, the quote, we've fulfilled our quota for A's, so too bad for you. That
I'm gonna defend it. I'm gonna defend it for a second. I understand the concern, but as somebody who went from, so I went from a school, undergrad, almost no undergrads do curve grades, and then I went to law school where almost all law schools do curve grades.
I'm against that. That's
sure. But I will tell you that because of the fact that law school curves grades, yeah, is there a lot of like negative effects of this? Does it discourage collaboration? Does it cause some mental health anxieties? All of this is true. But by God, does it make you actually study? Undergrad, there's some books right now in my library from undergrad classes that I never even took the cellophane off. Like,
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, this is just a widespread issue where, as long as you kind of generally get the gist, you can kind of just fuck around and you're going to get an A or a B. I mean, there's one class in particular, and you find out these about professors beforehand, like, oh, this professor's super easy. And they'll take their class, and there's one class I got an A in. I didn't show up to, I think, anything but one or two classes. I showed up for the one or two classes in the beginning, kind of near the start, and then at the for like I think there was like 2 exams, and I showed up for those as well. I didn't show up to anything else. I didn't study. I didn't do anything else. Got an A. It's just really ridiculous. And then you get to law school, where it's like, this is a way of making sure that you have to do the work, right? Yeah. Is it imperfect? Is it gritty? Is there collateral damage? Yes, all that's true. But holy shit, did I have to read? And it was kind of a shock initially because I realized I did actually have to read, and so I did. And
you think that's a function of like the curving, as in like as a result of that, there's curving more, like maybe not seeing the like. Why did that result in you having to like put in more effort?
Because really the professors couldn't give everybody an A. That's what I think the effect is. Yeah, like there's what they'll say is like, oh, like there's competition in between students, so like they kind of like the best rises to the top. I mean, there's probably some of that, but I think the vast majority of that is once you limit the professor's ability to just take the easy route of just handing out A's and B's to everybody and force them to actually like hand out some kind of grades and some kind of distribution. Like, first of all, it's way harder on them because then they have to do like the grading, but it actually does lead to, I think, tougher but sometimes more fair grading, where you don't have to overinflate in one way.
Just to clarify, because like maybe like the curving that I've encountered or I have seen might be different than the curving that occurs in law school, or like say your law schools, or probably
nearly every
law schools. Yeah. But like as in it, because like generally, when referring to curving, the overall process that I'm most familiar with, or that I see implemented, is like, a student is like borderline of like they're going to fail, but then they're curved upwards. But I've never seen it happen like there's students that are curved downwards. So is that curving? Okay.
There's a slight curve up from like students that are failing. So like the distribution does heavily favor kind of the C. It does.
Yeah.
So that can save you sometimes if you're like but there is a problem. Like, even though it theoretically could save you if you're like complete shit at the class, like an undergrad class, even without the curving, you can be complete shit at the work and still do okay. I think much more so than a curve grade class. And in those curve grade classes, like for example, in law school, professors were famous for like, oh, that professor, he only hands out 3 A's for the whole class, or that professor, she only hands out 5. Like, there is professors will be strict with how many A's they're handing out, because if they hand out more A's, then they also have to hand out more D's and F's.
Also, it'll kick people out, like, because they like, at least at St. Mary's, they would only take a certain percentage of the people, right? So if you got a C, right, that's almost as bad as an F, or a D, right? Because they would be like, oh, we're dropping the bottom percentage. So if you had anything less than like a B average, you were cut. So it was like, you have to have all, like, you get 3 Bs, you're good. But if you get like, oh, I rounded up from my D to a C, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah,
Because if
big
you get one more
firms.
thing,
Yeah,
you're done.
big firms
Yeah.
usually only hire within like quartiles. So like if you're the top, so like if you're like the top firms like Kirkland and Ellis or something, you're going to be hiring like you in order to even apply to us, you need to be top 5% of your class. Otherwise, don't even bother. Like other like not quite as like giant as Kirkland, but bigger firms, they might say top 20%, top 25%, top 50%, top,
Well,
and then you just kind of go
but
down from there.
don't you have the opposite too? Like Thomas J. Henry, biggest like medical law practice law firm in like Texas, and they're like probably like number 3 nationwide. They hire any Tom, Dick, and Sally to be like a junior associate. Like you could graduate with like because they just need bodies.
Yeah. In fact, that's actually better than what a lot of the large injury firms are doing, which is just not even hiring attorneys to handle the cases. They're just hiring case managers to do all the work and then have some attorneys sign off on it. Yeah.
Based.
I feel like there must be a better way where, for example, I don't know that this is the case in every medical school, but like, I don't think anyone would argue that medical school is not competitive or that medical school is like not rigorous. But there are some medical schools that like once you get in, like a lot of the courses, if not most courses, are like just pass fail. But like the bar to pass is obviously high, not like 60%. But it's just like, yeah, like you need to at least achieve the 80% or 90% and you either pass or fail. Like
I guess here's the difference.
Like that?
This is where I think the difference is. I think that for medical, and this is just kind of shooting from the hip here a little bit. I don't know if this is truly the logic, but for medical school, I guess what I would suggest is that you only want somebody to get through medical school if they can do the job to like a certain degree of like, say, like competence, right? Because you want them to be able to operate on patients or treat patients within a certain margin of error. But with lawyers, it's not like there's never a good enough in a job that is inherently a competition with other lawyers. If you're getting it right 99% of the time, you have a higher chance of losing to the lawyer that gets it right 100% of the time. And nobody cares if you got it mostly right, because if you lose the case, then the other side wins. The other side gets the money. So it doesn't matter. Now, is this way more complicated than putting it? Are there a million different factors? Is there, unpredictability of the jury? Is there, certain firms that only take certain cases? Blah 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 blah. There's a million other vectors. Yeah. But the attorney field, I think, is so competitive by its nature that it almost makes sense to me that would be the kind of school that would have curve grading, because again, the idea is you have to be better than your peers, or at least better than them some of the time. You have to be able to defeat them in something. Otherwise, they're just going to beat you every time. And what's the point? Why are you a lawyer?
Well, then you can be a public defender. Then you never win.
Like, out of curiosity, there's some stats on that, by the way. Public defenders get a lot of shit, and I'm not a public defender. It's the government. Blah blah blah. But to be fair to the public defenders, their win ratios are actually pretty comparable to private defense bar. When you look at it like in a state-by-state comparison, and sometimes they get worse cases. So
probably most of the time they get worse cases.
I'm actually really curious as to looking at those stats. I think that would be
the other thing.
Well, part of it is
the other thing is the resources they have.
There's some in certain counties they have a lack of resources. Some counties they're doing okay.
Well, hold on. If I hire like Jimmy Crane from Boston Legal, right? Like, and I hire the best fucking lawyer, defense attorney, and they got millions of dollars of backing, and my retainer is like $5 million. They're going to be able to go and dig up some resources and maybe
probably.
But if I'm like,
but if you're talking about the extremes,
but here's my thing. Even if you're in the middle of that pack, right? If I go hire Papa Gibbs, who graduated, online, fucking super cum laude of a class of, hey, I fucking did it in my basement, like, and he's like I think public defender, and versus whatever their office has, like resources wise, which they're probably overworked. They probably got worse cases versus like, oh, I'm a middle level law firm, defense firm. I'm only doing 10, murder cases right now this whole year. And this guy's over here. Oh, I'm on my 5th one this week. Which one's going to have more time to put into it?
Well, but that's the thing, because there's two different things you're looking at. Yes, time is important. You should look into that, but also experience. And if you're a public defender, the public defenders I know are in court more than anybody else. They're in court all the time. They're constantly in front of judges.
They have good relations too with the judges.
They got good relationships with the judges because not only are they in front of the judges constantly, but like, you know, they're public defenders. They're like doing a service to the community, and judges do seem to like recognize that a little bit. They and so just the sheer level of experience they have. I mean, the chances are, if you have a public defender with any kind of case, they've probably handled that similar kind of case, you know, 200 times in the past, you know, if they have some kind of like career behind them.
Yeah, but that's the same thing as like, say, like if I got a DWI and I hired somebody to go be my DWI lawyer, all he does is DWIs, right? And he's got a private firm. That's going to be better than the generalist, which is a public defender handling 200 cases every day, like, you know.
But well, if within those 200 cases they're handling 50 DUI cases a day, I mean, they have more experience with DUI.
No, they don't. Well, if the other guy handles 200 cases, handles 100 cases a day, and they're all DWI cases.
Okay, no one's doing 100 cases.
Yeah, like now we're just now we're just like
well, no, you don't work on it like the whole time.
What about 1,000?
No. What I'm saying is like you have specific private firms that do like
private lawyers are good.
So like they're doing like hundreds of DWI cases yearly, right? Like that's all this guy does. That's all his people are specialists on. They're like, for example, I have a DWI, right? That was like 14 plus years ago. And the guy, I basically went in there and I said, hey, this actually ties to law school. I said I wanted to law school. I know he goes, yeah, I watched the tape. It's a terrible tape. You definitely will lose it. So I'm like, sure, I know. I said, but can we do XYZ and push this till I get accepted? You know, right? And then it's like, sure, we can stall it out. You have right to speedy trial. You have right to not speedy trial. We can do it within reason. Okay, cool. They have like options they could give you. If you go to the public defender and say that, he's going to be like, no.
No,
like,
that's not true.
I don't know if that's true.
It's not true.
Like
it's absolutely.
No, I know that I know these people. Like they're more or less just attorneys, and the biggest difference is they just, in order to get them, you have to be dirt fucking poor. I mean, that's pretty much the main difference. I mean, I'm not denying that if you get to the top end, like, you know, the Cochrans and shit, like maybe you hit a certain point where you're like, you have a better chance. That could be true. But the vast majority of the time, people aren't going to be hiring those attorneys. They're going to be hiring, you know, and I'm not saying those attorneys are bad. Like, if you're the vast majority of Americans, your only choice really is to hire an attorney because you're not going to qualify for the public defender. You can't even own a car and qualify for the public defender. Good luck, right?
Okay, we'll have to talk about that in a second. But
yeah, no, if you want to qualify, you have to be destitute, and by destitute they mean nothing. Like you can't own a car, house. You can't own things if you want to qualify for a public defender.
Okay, good to know.
Wait. If I have a job, I can't have a public defender?
No.
Bro, for law school, if you want to do it full time, you can't work more than 20 hours a week.
Once you lose your job, then you'll qualify.
Oh, so when they say if you can't afford a lawyer, one will be given to you, that's bullshit then, because the idea is you have to be destitute.
Well, no, they're saying if you can afford it, but like depending on their metric of affordability.
Afford
like,
is can you sell everything you own to pay an attorney? If yes, then you can afford one.
Can you sell a kidney for your attorney? If the answer is yes,
I thought you were kind of just entitled to.
I had a misunderstanding there. Thank you for correcting me, Lactwood. I much appreciate this.
So
every state has slightly different thresholds, but generally, in order to qualify, you have to be fucking dirt poor. Yes.
And well, depending
on
like,
they'll make you dirt poor,
or they'll make you dirt poor. Yeah. I've literally seen that where they had a good paying job, so they didn't qualify. They lost their job. 2 weeks later, they qualified.
So you had Corey.
I was because are you saying like? So going back to the grades, like it never happens that like, you know, someone, and actually first question is like, what generally happens? I don't know actually if you have any data or any personal experiences, like for a person that let's say is mediocre, okay, in law school, okay, of like, you know, they're just like they get whatever, B average or C average, like, are they essentially like unhireable? Like they pretty much
no, they're unhireable to like the big top firms. But they are like those giant firms are only hiring the top 5% anyway. So it's not like 95% of grads.
But just to also clarify, like do also big firms, let's say someone who was mediocre in law school and like, you know, they get hired at, you know, some other, you know, random, less prestigious firm, but then they rack up, you know, 10 years of experience. Is that possible that they can get hired at a more prestigious, obviously?
If they make a bunch of money.
Yeah. No,
they're definitely going to be like lucrative. Like if they like C overall, if you get the big deals, they're gonna be like, let's get that guy away from that company.
Sure, I've absolutely like one of the ways this can happen is somebody who's like a mediocre law student, kind of run of the mill. They get out, they either get hired with a small firm. Very rarely they start their own firm. I would never recommend this to anybody just coming out of law school. But let's say they start like joining some kind of small firm, work there for like 5 to 7 years, make partner, and then if they do well, they can either be sniped by a big firm or that big firm can buy out their little firm and then make them a partner, right? I mean, this shit happens constantly. So there absolutely is like a ladder for high performing people who were mediocre in law school to get up there. That absolutely is the case, and I've seen it happen. So it's not like now, if you're in like the bottom 20%, bottom 25%, you're probably going to struggle. I think kind of initially, but you can still make it.
Okay, so I mean, if there's as in like the competition, it doesn't seem like the competition doesn't have to be like in the grades. It could just be the competition like at the firms then. So why you can just not have the curved grades and you get the grade that you actually earn. And then like
yeah, but now we're talking about timescales that are much so like if I'm a giant firm and I can hire the top 5% right out of law school, right? I'm going to be doing
well,
that.
There will still be a top 5% no matter what the grade distribution. Well,
right,
assuming not everyone's
right,
getting
but in order
an
for
A.
Sure, but in order for that to kind of like sort itself out, we're talking 15 years of practice on the back end, and so and big firms, honestly, and this is you can criticize this as the industry. I think this is fair. What a lot of big firms want to do is they want to hire fresh young grads that don't have family obligations, that don't have a lot of shit going for them, and
they can work them to death.
Work them to death, right? 2,000 hours a year of billable hour. Like you got to get in there and you better fucking work. And if you slack at all, we're just gonna we can
we'll just replace you.
We'll replace you. And we know that you have nothing else to do. We know that you're young. You have the energy. You have this the ambition. This kind of so, and you did well in school, so we expect you to do well here. And we're going to use you essentially. And if you're one of the few that manages to do really well for 7 to 10 years, maybe you'll make partner. And if you're not, then we'll replace you with the other 5% of the top grads that are in the grades below you. So, churn and burn, baby.
So, one, I agree with what you were saying. Like this is a while ago. About. Sorry. I shouldn't say I agree. I see what you're saying because I don't know the stats, right? I'm taking all your word for this, but it sounds very believable when you talk about public defenders being like pretty well versed or far more competent than people think, right? Because they're in the courts, they're doing the work, right? I mean, I think it's comparable in a loose sense, right? As to, what we do, like the people who debate constantly, right? Like, yeah, you're going to be able to defend your point because you've done this before. You've heard the arguments. Yeah. You know how to to undermine others in their position. So it just makes sense. Like you just practice makes perfect. Simple as that.
Skill level difference too, Brian. But I think this is the objection I have that you're making. I agree with everything you just said, except and this is I gotta do a lot of lifting. It's it's a skill diff, right? If you're like a public defender and you're going in there 100 cases and it's like, oh, we're gonna do the settlement with the DA because I want to get this done or ADA or whatever, just get it out of here and it'll be quick. That's gonna be like most of what they're doing. That's not gonna be very high skill. Like what we do right now, like I go to TikTok debaters and I'll debate them and yeah, I think I'm pretty high skill. I have a big ego, but a lot of that is due to coming to the high skill area. Like I'm a righty and I go on mainly lefty platforms and I fight lefties, right? And so that's going to raise my skill level overall, right? Versus if I go on an all righty platform and have a circle jerk and we're arguing about the same two issues, it's not going to be as good. So I think there's something to be said for you go to a bigger firm and you fight the best of the best. You get a 99% win rate against, best, that's much better than 100% win rate against Bob Saget and the boys. I don't know.
But I don't know that it goes too extreme.
But if you're a public defender, you're going the people that are bringing the cases is the prosecution. It's not like you're going up against
the attorney,
private
the attorney general and stuff.
But exactly. That's the attorney general. But only the top of the DA's office is going to be good. You're going to be facing we had to get Joan from law school.
You're never facing the actual DA. That's never. You're facing you're facing the prosecutors of the DA office.
And then they get the better ones. The better ones rise up the ranks, right? And the ADAs, the higher ADAs, because there's a hierarchy even in that. Right. There's going to be they're not going to be going against the public defenders generally, unless it's a high profile trial.
Yeah, it can happen.
My brother's an ADA, and I think that I'm about to say I'm sure it varies by city. Am I?
Yeah, your camera's frozen, but don't worry, we can
You look
still
good
hear
though.
your lovely voice.
You look very serious.
It's a good freeze frame. It didn't change, but keep going. Just we'll fix that later. What were we gonna say?
Yeah, I was saying my brother's an ADA, and I think that it probably varies from city to city, but I think he does quite a few cases a day, like actual cases. I think they're just separated by courts. Like there's family court, and then there's I don't remember. There's like different categories, and all of the ADAs are split up between them, and then you have like teams under them that are assigned a different section for each court. And it's always like which court am I assigned to right now? Because some suck, and some criminal court is, I guess, fewer cases, more intense situations going on. But generally, people who go the public defender route typically try to make it to criminal court.
Do you know if your brother was a high performer in law school, or I don't know? Do you want to say?
I think he was pretty middle of the pack.
There's also
he had to take the bar.
Oh, did he cut out?
His brother came and censored that.
He's like, "Are you gonna talk smack?"
Well, there's also like cases like I worked at this law firm. It was they did property law basically, and they were basically like landlords. You would deal with like having evictions and shit. And like it's kind of like Lactoid said, you don't get a public defender for any of this. These people don't really have the money to hire anybody. So these guys might be going like 20 a day, 20 and 0 on some random days, right? And like they probably have like records of like 1,067 to like 2, but they're also going against nobody. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're not like, there's literally not even.
I don't know why you're trying so hard to prove this point. It's like, it's
just something to consider, I think.
I don't know, man. To be clear, I don't know the stats, right? I'm just going to go over what our friend Lactoid is presenting to us. It seems to make intuitive sense there. But but also with Lactoid, he couched that in saying there's a bunch of other factors that affect win rates, right? So yes, like I think you're introducing other things,
such as just how you physically look. That stuff.
Crazy things. Yeah, it's unfortunate. I mean,
might be why they
I make a fantastic lawyer. I mean, like charming the jury. I mean, if that's all I got to do, right? If I just got to be a pretty face at the table, I mean, I get.
I mean, you should take that into consideration if you're hiring a lawyer. Like, are they a good looking? It helps.
Let's ask Lactoid about that. Lactoid.
No, there's actual research. I sent it to Lactoid. The more attractive you are, the higher your win rate.
All Lactoid does is, he flashes the baby blues and he calls it a day. That's it. You think Lactoid wears glasses in court?
You make sure you hire like the Playboy.
Well, no, we have to know what his win rate is. If his win rate is high,
what is your win rate, Lactoid?
It's favorable, but once again, like that.
There are many factors.
That was not a very sellable thing.
Like 70-30, like
is it favorable?
I don't know exactly what it is, but it's.
Do I go for Lactoid?
If it was like in the high 90s, you would know exactly.
Yeah, true.
I don't know if it's in the high 90s. Okay.
If your boy don't miss, you know the stats when you don't miss.
That's fair. But I appreciate my friend Lactoid being honest, right? About that. And I'm guessing when he's in court, right? Like basically what he's doing is like, secretly flexing in front of the jury, like
that's when he really takes off his shirt.
Stands up, right? Like he just like, oh,
the judge has a problem with that.
I'm secretly, right? When they're not looking. Ref can't call something they don't see, right? So,
I think it should be the masked singer, like in the courtroom, as in like you cannot be able to. Well, because like it's clear to me that because it is documented of how the lawyer looks influences the jury and decisions.
Well, I mean, how the defendant looks too. If you got a good looking defendant, it's probably easier for the jury to be like, this guy probably didn't do it.
Yeah, probably yes. I'm not opposed to also them being.
This is
costume.
Really old data. I just posted it. It's from 1998.
Okay, pretty old.
So it is old, but public defenders actually did better in this, or either slightly better or roughly the same with sentencing.
But remember, they're going against nobodies, like actual like bottom of the barrel, no matter what.
Like the ADA.
So well, hold on. It's like, for example, right here. So like for between public defenders and private counsel, with specifically on the state level, the average sentence was 155 months for public defenders and 179 months for private counsel, 223 months for violent crimes for public defenders, 231 months for violent crimes for private counsel, 118 to 128, 97 to 140. That's a huge gap right there. I don't know what's going on with that. And when you look at the Fed, or when we look at the feds, it's kind of roughly the same. But this data does appear to indicate very slightly that public defenders, at the very least, don't do a worse job than private counsel.
I don't know that it does do that. Like, this is what I keep talking about. This is why I brought up that like it depends on, like, I think with who you're going against. Like, it's such a big factor. If you're going against low level ADAs and you're like making deals, that's one, like, that's not that high. It's just like when I brought up this other firm I worked at.
They make less deals.
Millions.
Look at the data. They make less deals. Yeah. So with a public defender, 71% plead out, 72.8% of private counsel plead out.
Yeah, but what are those plea deals? Is a plea out like, oh, you're gonna be, this is what's gonna happen?
Apparently slightly worse. Apparently these plea deals are slightly worse because when you look at the overall sentencing rate, like the overall sentence amounts, it's rough, like
they get
slightly better for public defense. Again,
there's so much that goes into this that we don't.
There's so much that goes into this that we can't know all the. There's a lot of this is just noise. But for people who say like, oh, public defenders, they're just trash. The data does not support that opinion. It just doesn't.
Yeah. And I think so much of that we get from media, right? Like media, like it shows, like you've seen the court drama, right? Where the public defender is harried, right? Like he's rushing, right? He's got like a stack of cases. He's like, who the hell are you? He's going to, like that's an impression that we get. And I think it's really interesting to, like, to see a different side of that. And I really appreciate Lactoid for telling us about that. So two things I want to bring up. One, with the public defenders, right? Like, and I'm sure Lactoid is not going to like this idea at all. But I think that would be useful. Like, considering, like, okay, it sounds like the reason why, like, you have to be destitute to get a public defender is because they have limited resources, limited number of them, right? But also, my understanding is that we have a glut of lawyers coming out of law school and like a shrinking number of lawyer jobs.
I actually have a proposal for this. Yeah, I've ran it by other lawyers, and so far it's had pretty good appeal. I think it'd be perfectly fine that when you graduate law school, you have 3 years or whatever, or maybe as a condition of graduating law school, you have to do 2 years of public defender work after that. I'd be okay.
Well, they already do that though. Like, they have some states. I don't know about every state, but I don't know if it's still true now. But used to, even if you were like El Jefe at the biggest firm in the world, you still had to go do a certain amount of public defender cases a year. Like, they would make you go.
I'm not aware of that.
That's pro bono.
Pro bono cases. Yeah. Some places will recommend that you do pro bono cases, but that's the firm. I don't think it's the state. I think it's the firm.
Well, it's the state, but also you can. A lot of that's like CLEs compared to pro bonos. I don't know. It's a little bit complicated. But I'm talking about, like, specifically, you get out of law school, and assuming that you've graduated, like, you are guaranteed a spot as a public defender, but you have to do public defender work for at least 2 years. And I think this solves multiple problems. The first thing it does is it directs a huge glut of people to go into public defender work and dramatically raises availability of lawyers in that field. It trains them. That's a huge thing, because if you try to start become a lawyer or start your own firm like right after law school, you're just opening yourself up to shit, right? You haven't developed any kind of relationships with any of the judges. You haven't developed litigation strategy. You're not ready, right? And so 2 years of that kind of intense job where you're in court all the time and you actually have clients and everything, and you're like held to that standard. And by the way, we can even have it where if you can't handle it, if you can't cut it with doing those 2 years of public defender work, then you don't get to be a lawyer, right? Like, there's like, if you get fired or like you do so badly on XYZ metric, then you're out. Then you're out, just like it would be in law school. It can be like an extension of law school, like how in medical school they have like residency, which is basically the same thing. My understanding is with residency, you are like basically like a little bitch doctor, and you got to do work for a certain number of years, and then if you do a good enough job, hey, maybe you'll get your medical license, right? Makes sense to me. I think we should do it that way.
I'm not opposed to it.
Yeah, I like this idea. Like it does.
That's where the competition should be, and then no capping of A's.
Yeah. How many defendants can you get off?
I want to bring up something
sexually,
here real
hopefully.
quick. That's going to be interesting.
Sexually
They have, like,
specific.
But before you do that, I just want to I want to get the last point out there, but then we'll go straight to you, friend. But like Lactoid, about this idea that was it Corey was talking about in terms of like looks. So multiple questions. One, like have you heard of law firms like taking this to account, even like informally? Have you heard that? And then two,
Every job does. Every job does.
Okay, well, let's expand on that. And two, if you were like the head of a law firm, right, soon enough, I'm sure, right, and you were hiring, right, like, how much would you put on that, right? Like, you get a smoke show who walks through the door, and they are, like a B minus, like a level individual, and then you get some schlub, right? But top of his class. Like where do you land on that? So
I mean, I personally would probably pick the schlub, but attractiveness. There's stats on this too that I've seen where at every job, especially customer-facing jobs, but every single job, attractiveness matters. There is this pretty privilege, right? If you're attractive, you're gonna be more successful in life due to no contribution of your own. It's also
it's a burden that I bear. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, there's also, I mean, I could discriminate against people if I think they're ugly, right? And it's a category that's not protected. But now, I mean, there's going to be arguments, like if they're ugly because of some kind of disfigurement, maybe they'll argue like under ADA, like there's arguments they can wheel out. But it absolutely has an effect, and the law field is not immune to that either. So I'm sure.
So massing or costumes for all lawyers.
Yeah, and there is strategy.
Or just start hitting the gym. It encourages all the lawyers to hit the gym. Everyone's in a healthier, better physique.
Yeah, I don't know how true this is.
Like
but
cheating so rampant.
I have heard that like defense counsel will often try to portray themselves as like sympathetic as possible. So like glasses, like kind of formal wear, yes, but not too aggressive. No, no red ties.
Fancy washes.
Nothing super fancy. Just try to come across as sympathetic and humble and one of you to the jury, because we are taught in law school juries have roughly collectively a fourth grade understanding of the world, and so if what you say doesn't make sense to a fourth grader, it's not going to make sense to a jury. They have an attention span of about 7 minutes.
Do you show figures in like crayon?
Well, effectively, like with PowerPoints and like look at this, look at that, circling. Like you got to be very, very clear,
engaging,
very specific, and engaging, because they'll lose focus, they'll fall asleep, they don't want to be there in the first place, right? So, it's not like they signed up for this and they're so excited. No, they fucking hate it. They don't want to be there. They're forced to be.
Well, unless it's like a murder case or something they can be excited about.
But they can write a book afterwards.
Sometimes, even then, like I did see once, and this was, this was such a fuck up. I was auditing a trial of somebody who allegedly, well, I guess he was found guilty, so not allegedly anymore. He was on trial for sexually abusing a child, right? Serious shit. And his defense attorney was a bit old and wasn't up to date with all the Me Too kind of. This is why continuing to maintain an understanding of the culture and that's important. You can't just surround yourself with old guys. You gotta branch out a little bit, because the jury had a lot of women on it, and his defense of his client was that the testimony will show that she voluntarily took her own clothes off. Keep in mind she was 15, but of course, and man, I
voluntarily in quotes there.
I looked over at the jury, and like half of them seemed genuinely horrified that this was the defense, and I was like, this guy's cooked. This guy is so fucked. And he was. I mean, they deliberated for no time at all.
Yeah, it's a tough argument. It's
Well, they fucking had him. They had him on like everything. They had him on fucking GPS. They had everything. They fucking had him dead to rights.
So actually, that lawyer, like to be fair to him, if they had him on everything, right? It is the lawyer's job to.
That was his one defense.
Anything.
Yeah, that was all he had.
Let's just say you accepted a client. You're in court, and then you realize like, fuck, there's nothing. Can you just like bail on the guy mid?
No, so you have there's a constitutional right to a defense. So they can defend, but you also have a duty to not lie. So you can't like.
But then they can't defend themselves, right? The person.
Man, I feel like that's a tough spot to be in.
It's a very tough spot. And sometimes there's a conflict where they have no defense. But you can't lie. And so we were taught in those rare scenarios, you basically call your client up to the stand, so then you let them make their defense, and you don't say anything. You just
or you make your name.
And then what?
Or you make your name with some like crazy legal defense, you know?
Yeah, or you pull shit out of your ass completely, like with the OJ trial, and you make it just fucking work, right? If you're a crazy good lawyer, you can just do that instead. But I mean. Because technically they didn't lie. They were just like, look, they're racist.
Well, the glove don't fit.
Yeah.
So, okay, this is super interesting. I'm really glad that we got Lactoid talking on this. Because there's so many law firms is like mystical realm, right? Or sorry, law. The practice of law.
Real quick, do you think Newsom mogs JD Vance? Really quick, I want to hear your opinion.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes. What do you think?
Everybody does.
I don't know what you mean by mog. Sorry,
you mog JD Vance. You don't know what mogging is?
We were just talking about you should be up to date with the culture, not be an 80-year-old man.
Because Prime is too busy jester maxing. That's all he does. He jester maxes. He doesn't look smacks. He doesn't. You're not bone smashing. You're not mogging on anyone. Prime, why?
Do you even bone smash, Prime?
I certainly don't.
To mog is to like look better than the person next to you, and
it's like
you're mogging them. You're flexing on them, basically.
Yeah. Well, absolutely. JD
I don't agree with that. By the way,
I don't think he looks looking, and he has no charisma. I've said this often. I don't know why you think otherwise. You fight me on this, Lactoid.
I do.
But he has zero charisma.
Hold on.
Everyone hates him.
Everyone hates him.
That's why and DeSantis mogged the shit out of fucking Newsom. Like when they had them up there, initially,
we're not talking about DeSantis. No, we're not talking about DeSantis. Hold on. He lifts in his shoes because he's a little itty bitty boy.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I agree. I think he's a little high heels. That's why he's got heels like high heels on. I agree. He's not a mog guy. But when you put him next to it, part of mogging, yes, is just like looks maxing. But part of it is also like personality. And Newsom comes off as like Patrick Bateman, like.
Yeah, he's the Groyper dream.
And so when you get Newsom out there and you have the poop map, and you just you have no explanation for how to defend yourself against the poop map, you lose a lot of mog points, And I think Vance is good enough to get in with that.
Politics has nothing to do with mogging, man. Mogging is strictly aura. It's strictly
aura. If you're just sitting here going, as somebody pulls out a poop map, that's
all Newsom has to do is go take a picture, go do a photo op with his wife, right? Even the Groypers are like, they're like, damn, bro. If we're gonna do Vance versus Newsom,
they don't like
one of them has a white family and the other one doesn't. Right? The other one wants to deport his wife and children.
Yeah, they fucking hate Usha.
People are not for nothing. The conservative right. I know you're not particularly religious, Gibbsy, but there is something to be said about his wife being Hindu. Him kind of calling it out at every chance, and like the conservative right would not be. I don't think he's going to be okay with the first lady being a Hindu.
I mean, to be fair, which country mogs who? Pakistan or India? Which one's mogging who there?
I don't know if that makes any sense.
I believe Pakistan has nukes.
India does have nukes. It's very.
I don't know. India has City Boy JJ, so I'm giving it to India.
Okay.
This was a reference to the poop map because they have the poop river.
There's more. So my understanding, based on my experience watching dozens of YouTube videos. Okay. So I'm basically an expert. Here. I'm basically an expert. From what I've seen,
expert.
Pakistan is surprisingly a little bit more tourist friendly than India. India apparently there's
That's
a lot
surprising.
of apparently in India.
Surprising.
Yeah, no. So again, the video that I saw, This guy showed up in Pakistan. It was, very clean. Everybody was like offering him
the
tea.
YouTube tourists.
Not a lot of scammers. No. In India, it appears to be, it's not for the faint of heart, right? You got to be really comfortable saying no. There's going to be people who are going to hound you right off the plane. They're going to try to get you to come stay at their scam fucking hotel. They're going to try to sell you some fucking scam shit.
Sounds like fucking Colombia.
But to be fair, like Pakistan's doing like heavy PR when they do that kind of shit, right? Because isn't the idea that like Pakistan's run by like the Taliban or whatever it is, and so like they got to do heavy PR. So when these people come, it is kind of like when you do like the Israeli tourism where you just go on and they're gonna show you the best of the best. The IDF's walking you around. You basically have fucking the Taliban walking you around.
Why is the IDF walking them around Israel? It's because if I want to go to a Jewish site, it's likely that Hamas might shoot like a rocket.
Not in Israel proper. I'm being like legitimately for real. Like when you go to Israel, they have people showing you around. They're only going to show you the best of the sites, and this is like true of most countries, but particularly right now, like Pakistan, especially with what they got going on with India, right? Like if they have the Taliban running, all these like American YouTubers coming and like kind of boasting like positive statements about this land. It's a big PR run.
There could be some PR motivation somewhere, but again, from the videos, which I know are 100% not fake and authentic, of course, it certainly seems pretty genuine. Like the guy shows up and he's walking around. Like occasionally, is there some strange third world shit that happens? Yeah, but like if you're nothing compared to these videos of India where there's these cows wandering around eating garbage.
I've had like
parts of India.
I want to travel to India. I'm sorry, I want to travel the world really. But like India has always been like, I'm not sure I want to go there. Because
I would love to visit there.
You're talking about.
Wait,
I want
to
eat a Brahma cow in front of
the issue with the videos that you see coming out of India is like, imagine someone was doing American tourism. Thank you. They were doing American tourism, and all they did was show like Minnesota, the homeless people in LA, right? They're like, look at how bad America is. They just went to like Appalachia. They just went to like the ghettos of America, and like this was like what you see of America. But it's like every country, especially depending on how large you are, is going to have fucking terrifying.
It just seems so consistent, though. Right? It just seems so consistent. Where like every city this guy goes to in Pakistan just seems to be like better and cleaner, and it might be because if you steal, they'll chop your fucking hand off. I don't know. That might have something to do with it, right?
I've been to the third world. I've been to Appalachia. I've been to Los Angeles and San Diego, and I tell you what, I'd rather go to some of these third world countries than go back to like Los Angeles or San Diego. Those places are shitholes. Yeah. Like, it's bad. See?
That's bad.
Yeah.
Before
I think this is active democratic
before we go down this route and fight each other there.
I didn't get stabbed, please.
I do want to get started with the actual topic at hand.
We get stabbed in Africa.
Sounds like we're not like focused like we were before, and I think we're bullshitting. Lacted Walk, do I have two things to say to him?
I can hear you.
And he can talk to you, apparently.
Okay, well, I'll do the super chat, and then I'll ask my separate thing. Super chat from Drail 1381 says, what's Lactoid's take on MUN versus Illinois? MUNN versus Illinois 1877.
Sounds like an old key. Let
me look into that real quick. I don't have MUN memorized. Give me a second.
Well, we all know he wasn't getting those A's in law school now.
The difference between him and the top students. I have no clue there.
Did I freeze again?
It was a landmark Supreme Court case
the entire time.
I thought somebody, why didn't y'all tell me? That's crazy.
I've been looking at you.
This used to happen to me a lot. If you go to your browser settings, it's for me, it was for some reason the browser stopped allowing my access for my camera, and it would freeze a lot.
Stop allowing access. I'm in my browser settings. I don't know what I'm supposed to be looking for, but I'll work on it. That's what I'm about to say. Would y'all?
Did he cut out for anybody else? Censored again.
Oh,
some bad luck.
My voice out again?
Yeah, you cut out for a second. Try it again.
Okay, what y'all think about the halftime show of the Super Bowl?
Oh, sick.
Football.
With Kid Rock? Awesome.
10 out of 10.
No, I actually think it was like, without knowing anything, I thought I was like, oh, this is actually a pretty great like show.
It was
the clips that I saw seemed pretty good.
My wife's Puerto Rican. I had no choice but to love it, but also it was just great.
you said your wife is Puerto Rican? No, your wife is not. Your wife is Puerto Rican?
Yeah. You're contesting whether his wife is Puerto Rican.
No, I'm not contesting it. I'm not telling you.
No way, Ali. You're not Puerto Rican. What do you know?
No, I thought. Well, she looked. No, it's probably what happened is me
You're
like
racist. He was
yes, being
Muslim,
racist.
so you
Yes,
assumed
true,
she was Muslim,
right? But no, making an assumption, right? I made an assumption. I just like put that on her. I thought she was a Middle Eastern. I thought she was Lebanese. Or something.
No, Puerto Rican.
No, I think he's posted pictures.
I'm not gonna lie.
Wedding pictures. Oh, man. Rough night for Bam.
Bam. No, I'm sorry, buddy.
I'm going again. God doesn't want me.
Yeah. You said you're not gonna lie, and then you cut off immediately.
Yeah, I was saying my sweet baby Habibi, like he looks good, but this is like the most like white trash he's looked. I don't know.
Oh yeah, Ali. Yeah.
I don't know if it's the lighting or what, but like you look like you got like a dip in right now.
Let me say,
I do. I have a Zin up top, 100%. It's the hair being down. I gotta get a haircut. The buzz needs to come back.
It's definitely the hair.
Yeah, the buzz needs to come back.
Let me say two things really quick. Mon versus Illinois. I haven't read the full case. Just off of the summary, I'm assuming that it's probably fine law. I generally agree that the states have this power, but politically, I disagree with it. Obviously,
have what power?
Wait, break it down.
I'm not a lawyer. The power to regulate private functions, private property.
Okay. All right. Well,
and then to the second question, did I watch it? I watched both Super Bowl halftime shows, and I thought both were trash. So
sorry, hon. Okay, it's fair, hon. It's fair to not like both, right?
But
like Kid Rock was like straight up like lip syncing. Like
the TPUSA show was objectively trash.
And then they had the
musicians,
the cello and the violinist who also might have been faking it too. There's some accusations there. So like
also the set design was boring as shit,
but like one was worse than another, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
The set design.
I heard they got like 1 billion views on YouTube.
And there was no Bushes. There was no Bush people. Oh my goodness.
Listen. No. Conservatives. I watched this for weeks leading up to the Super Bowl and how they would. Oh, we don't want no gay Puerto Rican guy doing this shit. And he came out no dress.
There were gay Puerto Rican guys.
No one noticed it. There was a straight marriage that literally took place during the fucking Super Bowl. So kiss my ass.
Yeah, he knows all the gayness.
In the sea of the baddest bitches shaking ass, of course you would notice the gay guys.
They zoomed in on it. I saw.
And that's what you noticed. I didn't notice.
Fantastic was there too, though.
Baddies shaking ass everywhere. 2 people getting married. No guys wearing dresses. I'm just saying, for conservatives, this was a pretty fucking.
It was amazing.
Super Bowl. It was 10 out of 10. There was an actual story, an actual.
Wait, did y'all see Mr. Fantastic in the background?
I don't know who that is.
Oh, Pedro Pascal.
Yeah. Jessica Alba was looking.
Jessica Alba too.
I haven't watched either halftime show, but from what I've read, like
they're both bad.
Yeah, people. These are the two general consensus I've heard.
That's crazy.
Hold on. This is what I've read so far. This is what I've read so far.
Got no flavor.
Conservatives were pleasantly surprised with the Bad Buddies show. It wasn't as like woke as they thought it was going to be.
Wasn't woke at all.
Did a good job. This is what the righties have said, that because I haven't watched either, so I'll withhold judgment till next week or something. But I saw basically they said that he highlighted Latin culture becoming part of the U.S. without like being like overly political. That was what I've said from some of the conservatives, and otherwise they just didn't understand the music. So, but whatever, they thought it was okay. And on the other side, I've seen the polling that I've seen said most people prefer the TPUSA one, but the only reason why they preferred it was, hold on, this is what I saw was because they knew the songs better. So like it provided
no one knew any of those Kid Rock songs, man.
No one knew any of those Kid Rock.
No one knew words, though. I mean.
Yeah, I haven't
watched either one of them.
Blackwood, can you actually tell me what would have been a show that you would have said was good? Like,
if they did, what would you have
preferred in the Super Bowl?
Okay.
Yeah, great. Obviously, if they had some Russian singers or some Russian.
Yeah, why not? Right?
Hold on, was Prince's performance at halftime a while back like a good one? Because that one's universally hailed as a pretty good one, and the guy had a penis guitar.
I haven't seen it. Maybe it was good. I don't know.
Yeah.
What's that one? That one
English?
Whitney.
That's what really matters.
Oh shit! Whitney Houston sang the anthem really good. That one.
Now it's getting him.
Do you hear me?
Okay, great. Thank you so much for that. Yeah, we can hear you, friend. Yeah, we got the Whitney Houston comment.
She's a good singer.
She's incredible. It was an incredible moment.
What a
Truly a moment of
what a brave hot take that one was. Okay, all right. So Whitney Houston's a good singer.
She is.
Okay, so well, let's
shocker.
Indeed, we got it.
Also, here's like something that maybe some people don't know. One of the reasons
you know the bad national anthem.
One of the reasons why Bad Bunny is a little bit controversial, and especially why he's a little bit controversial with this, is the dude is openly in favor of Puerto Rican independence. Like he pushes for a separate Puerto Rico. Not part of
well, because you guys keep treating Puerto Ricans like second-class citizens.
Like, associate with the independence.
So the Dems do that.
No.
So
not only was it the flag, but he has openly endorsed and supported pro-independence candidates in the past.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah.
I think
most claim to be proud of America.
Well, hold on.
When the country's treating you like trash and they treat you like second-class citizens, it's kind of hard to be proud.
It sounds like Confederates telling me, like, oh, well, you know, why should I have American pride?
When you have people say, "Oh, I can't wait for ICE to deport Bad Bunny," it's like, is he an American or not in accordance to you?
Hold on, I think part of being proud of America does
going to be the same thing with the Greenlanders. It's going to be the same thing.
Well, no, I'm saying to just perform at the Super Bowl.
Just wanting all the rights of Americans.
Hold on, I'm not saying that the performance itself, in of itself, demonstrated like anti-American sentiment. I'm saying that when you look at Bad Bunny's history, like that kind of, I think, taints some of the things that he was saying. Like he's constantly referencing Puerto Rico. He has the flag that's referencing Puerto Rico independence. It's like that all kind of put it all together.
That can be.
I got the Texas national flag on the wall behind me. What's your point?
My boy wants to secede right now.
Gibbs, the kind of nationalist shit you say about Texas is exactly the thing I'm talking about. Yes.
Yeah. Listen, I think Puerto Rico. Listen. If Puerto Rico wants to fight for their independence and win,
see,
by all means, let them try.
Maybe you and Bad Bunny have this in common, okay? But the rest of us,
you know what else?
The idea of America.
That's because Gibson, his soul is Latin.
I think
his blood is a Latino man.
Let Bam go. Go ahead, Bam. You're first.
I'm probably going to be gone in 12 seconds. But I think that I don't think that there's worthy criticism. You can have criticism of like the idea of like, oh, if this is what it means to be American, I don't want to be American. Like if I don't have the rights of an American, which he doesn't.
Also, to be clear, it's the Democrats keeping the Puerto Ricans down, not the Republicans in Puerto Rico.
You think that I'm about to say because you think the Democrats wouldn't make Puerto Rico a state?
Well, because they this one of their little funding schemes where they collect the funding and like the Puerto Rican government's like very corrupt. It's been a problem. They have the national the governor thing, and then they have and when I say Democrats, I don't necessarily mean the National Party Democrats for once with this corruption. They have like local people, and since they're all like Latin that are not happy with Republicans, they're all Democrats. It's basically a one party thing. So you have there's not like a Republican caused issue at all in Puerto Rico. It's you have the pro stay independent, not independent, stay territory. You have the non-pro, and then you have the ones that were like last time they had the FEMA funding, stole all the money from FEMA kind of group. So it's a lot of corruption in Puerto Rico. That's a big part of it. But the Republicans are innocent of this one.
I think that they would. I think most Democrats would make Puerto Rico a state immediately, and I think most Republicans would vote against.
Absolutely, 100%, 100%. That's the case. But
I don't know where it goes from
there. Okay, so I want to get to the topic at hand. Before then, I'll say one more thing. I was trying to make this point previously, but I was a big. So I was a big Law and Order fan. I started with SVU, right? Like everyone does, right, with SVU. But I had this kick, right, where it was for a few years. I was just all about Law and Order, watching more Law and Order, and I watched the other ones too, right? Criminal Intent, I think, is underrated, especially with what's his face, the fantastic actor D'Onofrio, Vincent D'Onofrio.
Yeah, he's really good.
Oh my god, amazing! Amazing! He was just amazing. Those are the best episodes, right? So putting that out there, but the base Law and Order, right, with Sam, what's his face, Waterston, those were good. Now there's just one thing about the base Law and Order, I couldn't get enough of, right? In the later seasons, they hired an ADA there. One of the most beautiful women I've ever seen in my goddamn life.
The redhead chick?
Holy shit. Alana de la Garza. I have her name tattooed on my brain. Oh my god, she was so hot. Oh my god, this shit was a fucking smoke show and legs for years. Legs for years. Oh my god, she was I'll never forget it. I'll never forget it. No one she was a part of my fantasies for a very long time.
During Black History Month, Prime. You got
to just prove my point that attractiveness is a factor. You would never.
Oh my god!
On a jury.
But on that point, right? And it's something that I didn't understand because like I thought about this like often. I mean, I thought about her often. But like on the show, and this is why I was going to relate this not just to my sexual fantasies, but to a question for Lactoid, is about like how like ADAs are supposed to interact with the court, because this woman, like, she barely said anything in court, right? So like Sam Waterston was like, and I believe Sam Waterston was the DA. He would be making the cases, and then she would just be sitting there, like assisting, but almost never said anything during court. I'm like, why not? Like, why isn't she handling cases? She usually like would tag team with him, go to a case, right? Sam Waterston would make some amazing speech or whatever the fuck, right? But like, she almost never ever made a case. And like, is that a thing that ever happens? I thought ADAs actually did most of the work.
I mean, I don't know about this specific arrangement, but having a second chair that doesn't seem to talk all that much, that's common, right? Usually they're the person that's done a lot of the background work. They have a lot of information. They're going to kind of sidebar with you and give you arguments.
Okay. Also, Prime, you have to remember with Law and Order, like this is important. It took me a while to figure this out too. You're not actually seeing all the case, like, right? You're seeing just the highlights. So with the ADA would be like cross-examining or something. You're probably not going to have that on the episode. You're only going to have the high-profile moments.
Yeah, that's fair. But like I don't know, it just seemed weird to like an underuse of her, because she was literally just like looking pretty at the prosecution's table, and she did that very well. Oh my god, she was so sexy, guys. Oh my god, she's so fucking hot.
Well, Prime, let me put you on one. I highly recommend the what was it, the spinoff Boston Legal, which that's I highly recommend.
Oh, I love Boston. No, I'm already there, buddy. Great. I'm already there. Boston Legal, so good. Yeah, no, even before then, Boston Legal was a spinoff of
oh yeah, that's what I say. It was the spinoff
Ally
of Boston
Legal,
Legal.
I think.
No, it's of the practice. The practice.
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah, the practice. I tried to get Lactoid to watch the practice. He's mine too. He's like, I don't want to watch a lawyer show. But it was a good show. It was a really good show. The practice was extremely good. A lot of fun. A lot of great careers were launched from that. And then they spun that off into Boston,
which is better. It's the better one.
Which was better. Which is even better. Yeah, that was really good.
Yeah, so, I think they hit the right amount of comedy to like serious like note in there.
Yeah, there was really good balance. The practice is a bit more depressing.
Yeah,
but you know the okay. So last thing, we'll move on. But in the practice, do you remember the episodes with like I forget. There's a moderately famous actor who they'd always get. He had a recurring role, and he would like. Those were really fun episodes because like this guy would get arrested for a crime, right, a murder, and he would like want to defend himself, but he needed like an attorney to like back him up, to be second chair, basically, what Lactoid said, right? And this guy, like the way they would present the case and the way he would present the case in court is that you were never quite sure that this guy committed murder. This happened multiple times. He has a recurring role, but like he kept like getting off, right? But like at the end, it's like, did he actually kill this dude? Like he kept like it was like a thrill-seeking moment for him, where it seemed like he was committing murder and then like getting off on it, right? Because he wanted to seem like very smart and intelligent and like just trick people. Do you remember this? Like
they they have a few of those characters across both shows. I can't think of which specific one, but I mean Betty White's character is kind of like that in the practice too. Not the practice, in the Boston Legal. But yeah, they had that one. And also I think there was a genre of like shows at the time. Law and Order did this. It was about the same time as this happened in that show. The period was Ludacris came out and was like a serial killer, and he like represented himself. So I think it was a trend in television at the time. Like where then Ludacris shows up in like 4 or 5 episodes of Law and Order. I think it's SVU, where they have the same concept. But so like I think they had that trend at the time where they did that.
I like to.
But yeah, we'll have to argue about the practice. We'll talk about the practice soon.
I know we're about to move on, so I want to ask this just so we don't have to come back to it. I like to really quick. Just so I can know where to value your opinion. What's the last good halftime show you've seen? So if you just say all of them are bad, then what does that mean?
Let me bring up the list. Super Bowl.
The halftime shows are so hit or miss. I think Kendrick's was good last year.
Yeah,
I thought that was lame. That should have been Lil Wayne. That should have been Wheezy. That hurt me.
It should have been Lil Wayne.
New Orleans. It was in New
Lil
Orleans.
Wayne
Listen, I don't care how old he is, how bad he is. They should have given him 10.
He looks like a fucking mess. Lil Wayne is
Lil Wayne, like 2012.
Lil Wayne in New Orleans. Give him 2 minutes on stage. Give that man his flowers. I care.
Why? No,
because Lil Wayne means something to me. Okay, as a young Lebanese man who grew up in the suburbs, Lil Wayne meant a lot to me. All right.
Okay. All right. Well, that won't take that away from me. I'll leave that alone there. But like,
wait, which version of Lil Wayne though? We were talking about Purple Drake in his cup, Lil Wayne, right? Like when he was
Purple Drake, Wheezy. Yeah, once we get into Toonshi, it's a little bit much, but Wheezy forever has a spot in my heart.
Yeah,
man, are you still looking up Super Bowls that you might have liked?
So like I kind of like Rihanna's, but that's just because like
Rihanna's was fire.
I kind of like Rihanna's music, so I mean, I thought hers was pretty good, and that one wasn't too long ago. That was in 2023. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I thought she
Beyonce, was, Black Power. Did you like that one? I mean,
she was pretty good, and
J-Lo's was bad.
There was a Snoop Dogg and Eminem one that I thought was okay.
I didn't like that year. I don't know. I like it, and this is my personal thing. This is like maybe my conservative take. Like I didn't like the idea of like, oh, okay, why are we like promoting Crippin' on during the Super Bowl? It just felt like even if it is a part of like the black community, black culture, I'm like, we don't got a Crip walk on TV. We can do better.
I don't know if it's part of the black culture.
Actually is relevant to the topic we're about to.
Well, you know what's interesting? It's like you could have Super Bowl that was really good. Y'all remember the J-Lo Super Bowl was Latin themed 2020? Like J-Lo, she was dog shit. Shakira, she was amazing. Like, so it's like 50-50. Yeah.
Those hips never lie, man.
So hold on. So I gave one that I liked. I liked the Rihanna one. I did. So does
and the Beyonce one?
Does that justify?
I mean, basically in general, you just don't like Super Bowl halftime shows, like just overall.
Yeah, it sounds like
I think oftentimes they're pretty contrived. Yeah, and they
where's the country music? He says. Go ahead.
No, I don't.
Who would you want to see perform halftime?
George Strait. If country music, George Strait.
Judas Priest would be great.
No, actually, or like,
actually,
for real.
Though. They're a giant band. Why wouldn't they be invited?
Judas Priest at the Super Bowl?
Why not?
I don't know.
Aren't they old?
Oh,
yeah,
they're an old band.
What sort of ageism is this coming from you? What the fuck?
No, I'm just
like would they be able to perform?
I don't mean to insult you. I just like I thought
they still tour.
I didn't know they were still operating.
Halford still tours. Yes.
Okay. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to insult you, Fred. Like
the main singer of Judas Priest.
Oh, okay.
It's very good. And look, and here's the thing. I was looking back, and the last white person to perform, the white headliner, was Maroon 5, and that wasn't even a very good show.
That was bad. Yeah.
There has like been consistently like people of color invited to the Super Bowl. I think it's time for some traditional white music, like Judas Priest.
It's not good.
No, it's just heavy metal. When's the last time a heavy metal band has been invited to the Super Bowl? It's been a long time.
No. If we're gonna
who listens to heavy metal?
Let's do an American. King George for country music. That's what we need. We get like King George in there, maybe little Alan Jackson. Nah.
Yeah. Listen, so long as the minorities keep making better music and they keep being the more popular artists, you guys are going to keep losing this competition of like, well, no, how come there's no white people on stage? It's like, well, if Taylor Swift was on stage, you wouldn't be happy either. So
I would not be happy because I don't like Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift is your white warrior.
but hold on. Why hasn't she been though? I mean, let's think for a second. She's like the most arguably one of the most famous artists in all time.
She doesn't want to. She had the opportunity when she was dating Travis Kelce. I'm sure she was all over the NFL during that time. I would argue that she doesn't. If she wanted to, she would have.
The NFL wanted nothing more than to like glue her to like the outside of the stadium. Say, hey,
okay, not this white person. I need a different one.
They
not this
love
one.
her so much.
Okay. King George, this is a conservative white guy.
And select them.
No, it doesn't have to. Hold on, it doesn't have.
Your last hoorah was Maroon 5. What does that tell you about white music?
Okay, this is what I'm saying.
I like Maroon 5.
Maroon 5 has some good songs.
They got slaps.
That show wasn't particularly good, but here's the thing. Like, I'm not saying it has to be political. Halford's fucking gay. I just want like that kind of music to have a chance.
Lady Gaga was at the Super Bowl this year.
Lady
Gaga
he's a British gay guy. I mean, Jesus.
Lady Gaga was singing the white song.
We can absolutely
look how progressive Lactoid is. He allows the
I'm very
gays
progressive
to sing for him.
Yes,
he's very progressive. Just like old man on stage for him.
The British gays, and it'd be nice to see a little bit of a change of, because I mean, every Super Bowl really had this sort of like hip hop fusion, and that's been every single fucking year. And look, I understand that's like what's in right now, and people really like that.
That's the most popular.
But there's other genres. Come on.
But they're
I don't disagree. I'm not a fan
of
this genre, but like, so you're probably too young, Lactoid, but I'm assuming you didn't see like the 2002 halftime show. Like, yeah, but like,
and if I did, I have no memory of it.
I encourage you to look up, but that was obviously the year after like 9/11. Like, I think obviously I'm definitely not a football like expert at all, especially like when it comes to history. But like, I think that halftime show was like regarded as like one of the best ever because like
U2.
Yes.
Also,
exactly.
to be fair, the last time we let a white boy on stage at the Super Bowl,
I'd encourage you to look at clips of the show. It's pretty noteworthy.
That was pretty lame.
The last time the white boy was on stage, he pulled Janet Jackson's top off, and that was a whole ordeal. I think that's why white people aren't allowed on stage.
No, that's not what it is. Look,
they're wild. They go out there and they
representation matters, Ollie. Okay, we need representation.
It does matter. Yeah, make better music.
We're 70% of the U.S. population.
Bad Bunny is the most popular music artist in the world
right
now. How he is, because everyone else listens to him that isn't you.
A lot of countries speak Spanish.
Yeah, man, it's a lot of people that listen to him that aren't you. Now, if Tim McGraw or the guy,
can we?
How are we not addressing or whatever can do that? If he can do that,
George could. George Strait. Hold on, George Strait could easily do that.
Who the fuck is George Strait?
He keeps mentioning
He's the king of country.
I don't know who the fuck this is.
The only reason I know George Strait is because all of Drake's exes live in Texas like him. That's the only reason I know him.
Exactly. Bro, this guy has. Hold on. I don't want to like.
I look at King George and it brings up the king of the fucking UK.
No, he's literally call him King George because he's got 50 #1 hits in fucking country music.
There's been fun shows, but the best show of all time is Prince's.
I just want to say, yeah, the Latin music thing is a big one. Pitbull headlined the Super Bowl. J-Lo and what's her name? Like, yeah, it's because there's a lot of Latin people that speak the same. Like, if you got the right white person, they can do it. Eminem did it.
97% speaks English.
Hold on, but what about Eminem did it in 2019? That's like less than like 7 years ago.
I said that one was decent, but he wasn't the headliner. That was Dre.
Dr. Dre and Eminem are like together.
On with our
lives.
I know they're buds. I'm just saying I want a little bit of a different genre. That's all.
Okay, all right, let's move on. Thank you. Right.
Back to Law and Order. And
Alana de la Garza is the hottest. Oh my God, you're so beautiful.
Greta Van Fleet, the pretty reckless.
And I was hoping there was an effort to like have a revival of Law because the base Law and Order got canceled, which was bullshit, right? And they tried to revive it later on, and it didn't last for a long time. But they're going to bring back Alana de la Garza, and I was like, oh my God, yes, please. Make this happen. Oh my God.
Bro, can you do this in a month that's not February?
Okay.
That's right. It's that month. Holy shit.
Okay.
I should be wearing my FUBU.
Okay. All right. Thank you all. Thank you all for being here, for being part of the channel, for watching. If you enjoyed our little pregame, well, great. Fantastic. We do this all the time. We wander quite a bit, but it tends to be a lot of fun. So thank you for being here. I know which one. Hit the follow button if you're not so yet. No matter what platform you're watching on, Twitch, YouTube, or Kick. And consider also, someone did what I was going to suggest. Sending in a super chat. We're going to read that super chat in just 1 second. So yeah, consider support the channel and to keep us up and running, or subbing to the channel through Twitch, or you can't do anything through Kick at this point. It's fine, but eventually one day. But you can follow. So thank you so much. Let's go to my listening library. And they say, tell Gibbs that George Strait is old and retired. 2 years ago. If we're doing country, it should be Tyler Childers or Morgan Wallen.
Morgan Wallen, that guy.
I don't know Tyler Childers, but yeah, Morgan Wallen would be okay with me. Maybe like throw Luke Combs in there, like any of these like major country artists now and like hitting like the pop stations.
Yeah, the viewership would drop, brother. No one really likes country outside of country.
But nobody really likes. I mean, but I think that like Lactoid is kind of hitting the nail on the head with one thing. You know, people are sick of the Super Bowl show, like the halftime show. It's just like not hyped like it was. It used to be.
The viewership keeps going up and up.
So I don't know about.
It's the same as per capita and all bullshit. It's like more people are being born in the world. Well, more people are being born in the world. Of course, more people are watching.
So nobody had passed Michael Jackson before, like the last couple of years. Michael Jackson was what, in the 90s? Sorry.
Yeah, 90s. Michael Jackson kicked off the modern Super Bowl halftime show. It was him that started that. Before then, Super Bowl shows previously like were like completely different. Like they had like local bands like around, like small acts. They had like they had a freaking like a magician like go on stage previously. And then there was this whole thing with apparently, and I literally just learned this like today, right? Someone did a little history lesson on this. That there like people were like, you know, not like tuning in, like caring about the halftime show. Like again, it was mostly for like the people at the Super Bowl to, like, you know, to go to the concessions or to go pee, right? But like because the acts were so bad, a show, and this is a black reference from my man Bam, right? Called A Living Color, right? They
very good band.
Did a. There's not a band.
In Living Color is a band. So.
In Living Color, maybe it's also another band.
It's a group, not a band.
Yeah.
But it was a TV show, and they they basically did a stunt where they advertised, hey, we're going to do a show during the halftime show, and at the time they put a counter on the screen, right, to tell you like when like the game was going to come back on. Like the viewership from the Super Bowl dropped, like considerably, just like way down. People like were watching that show, so that went way up. And then like some of them came back, and the NFL wasn't going to have that anymore. Like, oh my God, we fucked up. Okay, like apparently no one gives a fuck about our halftime show. And so the next year, then they get Michael Jackson, right? And that's the start of like getting these like massive acts to create the halftime show that we understand now.
I'd be okay if non-music was good. You remember, you brought up magician thing. Do you like imagine? Remember when David Blaine and like what's his name were just massive back in the day, and they had like I'd be okay with seeing like a David Blaine at the halftime show or something. Like
no, I'd rather musical act. Fuck that.
But are you saying
I think the NFL was smart in hiring Jay-Z and like
it's a choice between David Blaine and Judas Priest. What are you picking?
I've never seen. I'm not sure if I've ever heard a Judas Priest song.
Well, I mean, they're pretty famous,
insensitive,
noteworthy.
They are famous. They're like one of the biggest heavy metal bands of all time.
Yeah,
Mike. I mean, but listen,
no, it's in Living Color, not Living Color.
Oh, well, it's a really good band. Color. I just heard that, and I just like, oh, I don't know.
I was about to say, In Living Color is a show by the Wayans brothers.
Yeah.
Show.
Yeah, In Living Color. Yeah, so but I hear you. I'll take a look at that later. All right,
let's. Hey, y'all want to talk about more popular real quick? Y'all said y'all didn't know who King George was. George Strait, 70 to 100 million records sold. Judas Priest, 50 million.
So George Strait's the name of a person? S-T-R.
It's George Strait. He is a country singer, and yes,
he's the king of country.
Most famously known for being in a Drake song.
You know, Amarillo by Morning. You know,
I have no idea. I didn't hear it.
All his exes live in Texas. That's all you need to know.
Okay. Let's move on for our lives. Thank you. We're gonna get started. Thanks all for being here. Thanks all for sticking around. Despite our very meandering start, more meandering than usual, honestly. I was just gonna end it with the whole lawyer talk, but you know, here we are. In any case, we'll get started with the topic. Okay. All right. So, topic. Donald Trump posted a video that contained racist imagery of Barack and Michelle Obama. At the end of the video clip that claimed there was evidence that the 2020 election was stolen, a short clip of an animation was attached which featured the Obama couple as apes. This was followed by swift backlash from the public at large and from members of the Republican Party. Some say that Trump has failed as a moral leader. But should that matter? Should the president be the moral compass of this country? Should they have to embody some vague, unwritten list of American values? Should there be any qualifications or even expectations for the president beyond what is laid out in the Constitution? So I imagine many people have, seen the clip. If not, it's like this cartoony thing, and it has like. It's exactly what it sounds like. It has like a pair of gorillas, and instead of for gorilla faces, you put Barack and Michelle's faces on there. And it's like just at the very end of this clip, it's like blinking you'll miss it, but it's like 2 seconds of them there. And I
sent the link of the clip.
Yeah, I don't know if I can even play it. But it's yeah, I'm not sure I can even play it. But in any case, this thing happened, and it was up on the president's Truth account for 12 hours before he eventually deleted it. This is under massive pressure from all parts of the political spectrum, except for like Nick Fuentes, I imagine. And from there, like the White House went into damage control. The White House said, "Oh, Trump didn't send that. It was a staffer." And then Trump comes out and says, "Well, no, I did send it out. That it was me. And I don't apologize." Trump has still not apologized for this clip, like at all. And so he thinks overall it was a fine clip. He says he disagrees with it, right? But he didn't see it. But also, like, he doesn't apologize for it. So it's a whole mess of things. Okay, that happened. But this was basically a topic that we kind of touched on last week that our friend Bam brought up, actually, right? Talking about like standards for a leader. What should we accept for a leader? Should there be standards? Like, should it be a minimum, a floor? Or should it not matter, right? Should it be maybe about the policies and who cares who is the delivery mechanism for that policy, right? As long as you get your agenda passed, it doesn't matter of what kind of person the president is, right? And anyway, politicians lie all the time about who they are, right? They put on a front. We understand this, right? They put on a front for the public. And maybe Trump, part of his appeal is that he doesn't really do that, you get what you get there. So that's what I wanted to explore. Like, should we have these standards? Is that important for civil society to have that or not? So we'll start with my man Lactoid.
Okay, so a couple things. I do feel as though this whole thing is like a big nothing burger. It's a bunch of hoopla. It's a bunch of overblown kind of political jabbery. That's what it is. He posts shit
words?
Like this. I'm
malarkey.
I'm a fucking rapper. So he reposted. So from what I understand, he saw this video and either he reposted it or a staffer did. He's saying a staffer did, but that he saw the initial part of it. And it was about voter fraud, which goes kind of in line with the kind of shit that Trump posts. And then at the very end, like in the last couple seconds, like literally like a second, I think, really. I mean, you weren't exaggerating, Prime. It switches over to the beginning of this other video, in which it starts out with Barack and Michelle Obama as I think a monkey and a gorilla, respectively, and then it goes through the Lion King theme song, and has all the different other major Democrats as different animals all dancing to music. It's a very cringe video. It's not funny at all. There's I don't understand what the punchline is. I mean, this is like boomer humor to the extreme. But given that, it's like the very tail end. Whether it's that Trump reposted it without watching till the very end, I wouldn't put that past him. Or that even a staffer reposted it without watching to the very end, I wouldn't put that past them. They reposted it, I think, really to focus on their alleged, the voter fraud part of the video, not this last 2 seconds at the beginning of a different video. They have said that more or less, and they have deleted it. I think that really the pressure is like, well, if we, do we want to be pressured into deleting it? Especially when it's talking about voter fraud. And yeah, they kind of put up a front a little bit with that, I think. But they did wind up deleting it. I just don't see this as really being all that big of a scandal. I just don't. Given that now, I think if he reposted the full video, it would have been in poor taste, given the beginning of it and the sort of stereotypes surrounding that. But I think it mostly would have been bad because it's just a fucking cringe video, and there's no actual funny aspect about it whatsoever. So there's that part of it. As to the broader question, should the president be the moral leader? I think it's fine to factor in like morality into the candidates that you want to vote for, but it's also fine, how much weight you put on that. I think is going to be different per person, right? I think that for me, a big part of the presidency is the policy agenda that they want to get done, much more so than the morality of the individual person. But there is, of course, limits to this, right? If some extra Epstein shit comes out and turns out he was on the island, doing some crazy shit, there's some lines that I think can't be crossed, right? But if the lines we're talking about here is cheating on his wife with a porn star, I'm obviously okay with overlooking that if it turns out that he's got a better policy agenda than his competition. So I think it matters, not nearly as much as I think some people take it to matter, more so than like the policy agenda, for example. But I'm not going to pretend it doesn't matter at all. Like I do think that there is some kind of credence we should give to whether or not the person we elected is like a fucking felon of the worst degree or not. So
thank you so much. Let's go to our friend Corey.
Yeah, I'll try to keep it brief. So I actually don't necessarily disagree with some of the sentiments that Lactoid outlined in terms of like, what the actual true intentions were in truthing out this video. Is it motivated by racism? Who can say? Would it surprise me? No, but I'm not going to necessarily come to that conclusion. I think, there's a larger question of like, what does it say about, the president truthing out or spreading what I would consider, explicit disinformation, misinformation. I think that's largely potentially more problematic than just the potential racist imagery. But like, yeah, it is believable to me that like it's just either Trump being an idiot. Okay, I don't put that past him, or a staffer being an idiot, or both. And so, yeah. But again, to the broader question of this aspect of morality or character, I think, yes, ideally, one would want the leader of their country to be a person of a character without defining what exactly that is. And yes, that will be different for each person. But, there's, from what I can tell, there's a lot of, let's say, discourse around, a lack of male role models in society. And one would like to think that the president could be a role model for, the population that they're leading. And so do I think personally that Trump is failed as a moral, or failed in having any moral compass? I do. But obviously there are a significant amount of people that don't feel that way. And like, yes, there are, I think, unwritten rules, just like when it comes to electing a leader, there are unwritten rules in society. From what I can tell, like, I could be wrong, but I think generally speaking, it's not against the law to cut in line. But we all seem to understand that you don't do that. And like, there will be significant backlash if you start cutting in line. But correct me if I'm wrong, but like, there's actually, I'm sure there's some sort of legal context where it is against the law to cut in line. But I think generally speaking, that's never the case. And like, that's an unwritten rule, and we all seem to understand that if we don't follow it, we descend into chaos, probably. I think that largely holds true for many aspects, especially in this case here. So I'll leave it there for now.
Let's go to our friend Gibbs.
Yeah, I mean, first, since before it brings up, I want to bring up the concept of per capita. If everybody here knew who Judas Priest was, and they sold 50 million, and only half the people here knew who George Strait was, and he sold double that, he sold them. Outsold them 2-1 per capita. Just say. Anyway, moving on. We're going to be talking about this issue here.
I can fact that is true.
Hey, here we go. So when I'm sitting here going, hey, I look at this thing with the Trump in this video. One, I don't think he posted it. Two, he's won awards from African American people for their work with the communities before. You know, whether it's the Black Caucus or the Black Conservative Caucus or whatever, whether it's the Ellis Island Award that's debated whether or not he got that. He's gotten awards. Nobody said anything about Trump racist until he ran for office. So I doubt that it's racist. But Trump is really good at one thing, and that's trolling. And I sit here, we talk about the moral likability of the moral compass and something. Sometimes we're having this debate right now in Texas over who should the Republican candidate be to replace Cornyn, or should it be Cornyn? And it's between Hunt and it's between Ken Paxton. Ken Paxton, he's kind of a piece of shit. He's sus, right? But he gets shit done. So it's like, do we want our piece of shit that's going to get shit done, or do you want somebody like Hunt that's going to be more is like new but more moral? I think with Trump, this is kind of the same thing here. He's kind of like, yeah, he's a piece of shit, but he's at least on our side, kind of thing for a lot of people. So I don't know. He kind of transcends this because he's like a lot of the cult personality. Kind of reminds me of like Andrew Jackson in that way, or some other people from history that like survive off their personality and transcend this, and they're on one side tangibly. I do hope that he braces the trolling, because I don't think he's racist, but I think it would be fucking hilarious is if he dressed up as Frieza and came out and gave a press conference and yelled something about hello monkeys to everybody and just wild out. Like, he should just roll into it now. Just troll the left, because that's what they're going to do. They're going to hyper focus on like this and not focus on policy. And I think that's his best strategy, honestly. It's just to embrace it, which is what he seems to be doing.
Okay. All right. Let's go to our friend Ali.
Yeah. So this video, there was no need for it to be added to the end of you're talking about voter fraud, right? I think it was done in poor taste. I think every year we seem to get this where like some company out there puts out some crazy shit and then they like have to walk it back, and it seems like a publicity stunt to an extent, right? Like this is it seems like a little bit of rage baity. We had Gucci with their blackface mask, and then H&M with their coolest monkey in the jungle shirt, and then the black kid was wearing it, and it's just like, this is another iteration of it. It's too obvious for me to like, is he racist? Like, sure, right? I don't think that means anything, but I think this type of shit, like this type of joke, this type of troll is like, it's like too obvious. It's too nail on the head. And so like, to the overarching question of like presidency and should they have some type of like decorum, right? I think that's like really what we're talking. I think they should. I think especially in like an era where influencers are a thing, right? Where people are looking to the internet to see how they should act, right? Kids now more than ever are looking to like their screens to see like how they should act, what they should be, what characteristics they should embody. And if this is the character of the president, who is, kind of potentially the most influential person in this country, right? If this is the character of the person that's like posting and saying and tweeting and talking, right? Then that's the role model, to Corey's point, for like all these kids, all these young kids, right? All these young Republicans, all these young whatever. And so when we have people posting, it's just blatantly obviously racist, right? You didn't have to do the animals in the kingdom, right? And like, just once again, it's too obvious. Having the black presidential couple be the monkeys is, like nail on the head. It's boring. To Lacto's point, it's cringe, right? But you kind of can't defend that it's not racist. It just is. It wasn't just like, oh, it just so happened to be that Michelle Obama and Barack Obama were the apes. That was a choice. That was a deliberate choice. And you can say that they didn't watch the video all the way to the end and seen it, but I mean, that's still your president posting on their page that's getting millions of views, that's influencing the youth, that's the character of the party. And so at a certain point, like, no, I said this before the election when I was asking, like, what are you voting for? Yeah, policy, but then there's also the character of the person who's pushing that policy. If the character of the person pushing the policy is a liar, then why would you trust that they're going to push the policy that you want? Why would you believe anything that they're saying? I don't know. So that, yeah, it feels like every 4 years, we're kind of declining in decorum for president. And like, eventually we are just going to start putting Gatorade on the plants because electrolytes is what the plants need. So.
Let's go to our friend Bam. I might have to step away for a second. But like, if I do, you guys know what to do afterwards. Keep going.
Silence.
Yeah. Silence. Hopefully I don't drop out again.
Yeah, go ahead.
But
you're already frozen on screen, but
I'm already frozen again. On. I'm on pace, whatever. I gotta switch back to a wired connection. I tried to switch to Wi-Fi. It's a terrible decision. I'll say this. I can have this conversation from honest perspective that like I don't believe Donald Trump watched the video all the way through. I don't think he cared enough to. Personally, I just think he's a psychopathic old man that's just posting stuff as quick as he sees it. Like, oh, election fraud, I'm posting this. I think once he was made aware, did he care, or did he realize like, oh, this was actually kind of messed up, this is kind of racist? No, I also don't think he cared about that. I think the worst thing about it is the concept of like having to immediately defend everything. And it's like, oh, again.
Yeah, we lost them.
Now we do need Prime. What do you need?
I'm going.
You better go get that.
Don't worry about it. Rewind 5 seconds or 6 seconds.
Okay, whatever. I was using racial slurs. I'm sorry. The bad ones. I was saying that whether or not, again, like Donald Trump intentionally meant it to be racist. One, I think he is racist, but not necessarily for the video, for a preponderance of other evidence. But I believe that the person who made the video absolutely had racist intentions. Again, the video didn't make itself. They chose Barack Obama and Michelle to be apes, and they also chose Michelle Obama to be the bigger ape for a reason, because not only is she a monkey, she's also a man, and and is part of the stereotype. And the fact that everyone, like, we have to pretend that the president of the United States is like everyone else, is like, oh, he made a goof, or it's some random imaginary staffer, but they don't put Trump on board with this idea. So he goes back and forth between, I posted it and the staffer posted.
We need another rewind of 5 seconds.
Well, we gotta hear his voice first.
Yeah, true.
I'm still going again.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. 5 seconds.
Okay.
Rewind.
Yeah. Why is the president having, like, if it is some random staffer, why is the president having a staffer like post at 3 o'clock in the morning? Like, that doesn't even sound right. Like, that none of this makes sense. Yes, I do expect better from our leadership. And because I'm probably gonna drop out again, I'm gonna do a little bit of acting. Because we were going by really fast, and this is from the movie that was the closest to ending racism of all time. And if you'll know it if you're a good person by halfway through. If not, then I'm sorry.
Tropic Thunder.
Nope. Why should I give a hoot about you, huh? Anybody else out here? You want to talk about the ways you capping, right? Right. You got a job. I got a job. You been doing your job. I've been doing my job.
Yeah, I don't remember the Titans. I don't remember what the title of the actual movie is. I think
yourself included. I'm not supposed to wear myself out for the team. What team? Nah. What I'm gonna do? I'm gonna look out for myself, and I'm gonna get mine.
Oh, remember the Titans.
Yep. You see, that's the worst attitude I ever heard. Attitude reflects leadership, Captain. That, although is a great monologue from a great movie, speaks to the concept of whenever your leadership at the top has no moral standings, it perpetuates and permeates through the remainder of whatever it is, be that a business, or organization, or even a country. He's the leader of the Republican Party, and because of that, the Republican Party has become like demonstrably disgusting people who I'm close to not wanting to share a country with. Like, it's gotten that bad, and I don't think any of these things are inherent. I think it's because of the leadership up top. That's the dangerous part of not having any moral standards and morals.
This is quite the Wi-Fi connection.
Yeah, that is.
I'm done.
Okay.
Yeah. Blacktoid.
Well, a good movie, by the way.
Yeah. Remember the Titans, great movie, great scene, by the way, Bab. Great scene.
Do quarterback. Remember.
Lactoid. Last week, I think last week you kind of took a snipe at me and Prime. It wasn't a big one or nothing, but we were talking about like voting and like kind of holding your president accountable for whatever it is that you're. And then you were saying that like me and Prime are a little bit more emotional, right? Whereas like if they do this, we have one moral thing, and if they don't live up to that standard, well then we just drop them completely.
I don't think I used the word emotional. I think that you guys are very logical about it.
Yeah, I didn't mean it to be like you were being rude, and I'm just using words. But like I think, to be fair, like I think that's where leftists have a point, right? they see that like MAGA gets elected, and it seems that MAGA gets whatever the fuck it wants. The president comes in, fucking starts executive orders left and right. We're going to do whatever we want. We're going to change the country. This is what we're going to do. And then when like Democrats get into power, it's like, oh no, we have to do things in this like partial way. And then it like, so we hold them to a standard. We're like, hey, we voted you in for XYZ and you're not doing XYZ. You're not doing this thing. For me and Prime, it was like Gaza, right? Like the fact that Biden was like essentially okaying everything, go forward, whatever. Like he wasn't living up to a standard that we had. So yeah, like if you're not going to live up to the standard, you're not going to get our vote.
Sure.
And
yeah,
so
it's because your side is corrupt. And so whenever they say
I think my side has expectations of the people that we put in power.
They also get a lot of terrible shit done. So
yeah, if you're gonna vote, like if we're gonna vote you in to be president, there are certain things we expect you to handle, or there are certain things we expect to be done. Otherwise, well then fucking we're not gonna get it. I mean, but to be fair, that's you guys too, right? The only reason Trump gets into power is because off rip with his promises of I'm going to drain the swamp. I'm going to be a different type of president. To be fair, he does do that. And in his first presidency, he kind of did live up to like whatever like standard you guys needed him to live up to. But then when they start declining, when like it is like conservatives are supposed to be this like I mean, you're supposed to be conservatives, right? Like this guy doesn't live up to any of the standards. The guy doesn't live up to any of the character. If anything, he drops the character to the point where even in your party, it's split as to like whether or not this guy is like a good guy to lead. Now, what are you going to get next? So like, do you not have a standard for your president?
Hold on. If our choice is a 90s New York Democrat or to like drive my car off a cliff and blow my brains out while I'm doing it, I'm going to pick the 90s Democrat. But what y'all are offering us on one side is the second option. Is like,
I'm saying you should. I'm saying you should do what we did. I didn't vote. I abstained. I honestly, I think there should be a mass abstaining from voting until you get the president we actually want.
Then we didn't have a say in what's fucking us. Well, like at least with this, I'd say slow it down. Like Trump doesn't like. I don't like all Trump's policies. His new Argentina B thing, not a huge fan. His gun takes, not a huge fan. But if it's like a few takes versus like 200,
I'm talking more on like I know that it's a joke, but like the guy does really fucking push this third term like quite fucking heavily. That joke is kind of on repeat in his fucking Rolodex, and that's not a funny joke.
Well, bro, but he does the memes. Like, okay, first y'all, they called him the garbage truck. What does he do? He shows up with a garbage truck. That's hilarious, right? You want to laugh.
That was good.
You know that McDonald's thing. Oh, yeah, whatever. And y'all were like, this is going to get you elected. I said, this is going to get you elected. Hold on, but like, what is what I keep saying? And Bam kind of at least was being honest with your intro when you were saying, hey, like maybe I don't want to live with these people. But on the flip side, the reason why a lot of Republicans are acting like this and Trump's able to defend this is because everything was racist. Like you brought up the Michelle Obama being like bigger because she was, I didn't even think of that when I read this story and looked at the video. But it's crazy because like I'm sure there are people saying this, right? But it's a small group, and y'all just push every Republican thinking anything is racist.
It's a pretty
yeah, but hold on. If I say hold on, but it's fine for say y'all to make an India joke about shit, and everybody like you laugh, haha. But if I make a Latin joke, while I'm actually Latin, but not Latin, but I'm white passing, ooh, that's taboo. Like everything's racist, even though I might actually be Latin because I am, and I live like by the border, which I do. But yeah,
so that does happen. That does happen.
I mean, I understand pendulum swinging. Like that. I understand the pendulum swing, but do you not acknowledge that like we're not going back to like we've hit some overswing, some weird overcorrection?
Tell me would it be hilarious if Trump walked out and like okay, here's what I have to say about that, and then shared a GIF of fucking Frieza yelling from Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball Super. It's like hello monkeys or some shit. Like that would be a troll. Like no, I don't
know. That wouldn't be good for the president of the United States. No,
I think it's
not for the president to do that.
I don't know.
That's what I was saying with the idiocracy thing. I was like for real. At a certain point, like you're like the president is representation of your country. So no, I don't want the president to come out in a Frieza outfit. Just like when the Argentinian guy comes out with his fucking crazy hair and he's doing the crazy shit. Like these are people that we believe represent us. Like this is supposed to be like the average person, the normal man, the everybody can become president, right? That's what the ideal is supposed to be, is that this is a representation. He's a public servant at the end of the day. He's supposed to give up all his businesses and so on and so forth. Take 4 years and just focus on like being a public servant. And when your president isn't doing that, when they're not fulfilling any of the roles, when that's not now the new character, well, then what comes next? next, right? It's not like you're going to get a guy that's like at being presidential, right? What's the next step?
My sweet baby Ali's also not the
more
president.
memes.
Yeah, but if you want somebody that's every man, a populist, like in the sense Trump is, then you want somebody that you can relate to. I mean, like, well, yeah, sure, maybe you're being classified, but if you want someone you can relate to, you want the guy that you can imagine yourself drinking beer. You want the guy that's in your meme group. Like that's like something that's
a stupid metric. Like that's like it's like I want to go to the bar with like my surgeon, or like I want to like be able to like.
I would like to go to the bar with my surgeon. That'd be base. I'd love to hear some stories.
Yeah, well, this was. This was disastrous. No, this was what they were saying about George W. Bush. Yeah, I'll vote for him. I can see myself having a beer with them, right? And then he leads us into two disastrous wars.
George Bush looks like
we spent trillions of dollars.
You know who wasn't in the Epstein files?
I miss George Bush in comparison to Trump. I like legitimately miss George Bush.
You degraded since the war criminal George Bush. That's what you've done. Yeah, amazing. Congratulations for you.
Like Bush handled shit. Bush was an idiot, but like to his fucking best. The best of his abilities, he tried to handle shit with some fucking decorum. He tried to keep the peace. He tried to keep it so that, but this guy Trump, bro, is just fucking divisive as shit. It's not good. It's not good as a president.
Go ahead.
Okay. So a couple things. I'm going to back up Gibbs.
Sure, yeah.
I'm going to back up when Gibbs was saying that the shit does go too far in terms of the sort of like seeing ghosts where none exist. Yeah, like I use monkey as an insult towards everybody. But I can't do it towards black people. I consciously, if I investigate to see, if they're black, I got to come up with some other insult. If they're any other race, great, I can call them a monkey because
So you use monkey? Seriously, no, like for real?
Yeah.
You just call people monkeys? Like
if I'm trying to insult them, for sure.
Explain the context. Like
sure, I do something.
Like,
there's no racism.
You can direct it towards Corey. Okay,
I'll direct it towards. Yeah, like me and him are arguing, and I'm like actually fucking pissed, and I'm like, well, no, this actually is the point, you fucking monkey. Like this is actually how it goes. And what I'm doing right now is I'm demeaning his intelligence by comparing him to like a previous.
I've watched a lot of your conversations. I've never heard you say
like
monkey.
A Neanderthal, right? Like that's or caveman. This is the kind of reference I'm making. And so, yeah, I do. Like, sometimes if I'm really pissed, I'll call him a dancing monkey. Like, dance for me, monkey. Like,
that's an intelligent monkey that can dance.
I've gotten pretty fucking angry at people before, but I can't do that, right? I do it universally, except for black people. I have to make a separate rule. I got to have a separate kind of, insult.
I just don't use that one.
And so there is. Like... No, it fits. And so I have to be to kind of Gibbs's point, right? I think there is kind of a knee-jerk reaction oftentimes of just like, well, this must be racism, and then when you look into it, it's like, well, actually, it's not. So I do think that does happen, to Gibbs's point. And then to answer Ali's point, I wasn't really taking a shot at you when I was explaining this to Hunter last time. I was simply describing just the different philosophy that I think you and Prime have when it comes to world leaders, which I think you guys do have a different philosophy. You guys, for you, if a world leader is not up to snuff, if they don't hit a certain threshold of like,
standard,
yeah, exactly, sure. Yeah. Then you just won't vote for them, and you won't vote at all, right? But there is and I think there's other people here, including myself, including Gibbs, including Bam, including Hunter. He was not here right now, but he might join us. And I think maybe Corey to some extent. I haven't really heard his.
You guys are lesser of two evil bitches.
Yeah, we have a little bit more of a utilitarian analysis when it comes to this. Like the turd sandwich sucks, but maybe they're better than the douche, or maybe the douche is better than the turd sandwich. And that's just a different philosophy when it comes to electing people. I'm not saying that yours is necessarily wrong.
It's pathetic that we've gotten there. It's pathetic that we've gotten to that fucking state where, like, as Americans, as we're supposed to be this robust, like to Gibbs's point every time, we should be what the Japanese thinks we are. But then here we are saying, well, like, I mean, yeah, sometimes the turd sandwich is just better than the douche, and like that's what you got. You got to do what you got to do.
But it's always been that way.
Got to eat the poop sandwich.
No, stop it. It's always been that way. Like, what time period do you think that the presidential candidates like had beliefs that were less progressive than the presidents we have now?
It's not about progressive.
Obama in 2008 was against gay marriage.
It's not about progressive. It's It's about the idea that like you're supposed to be able to hold these people to the standard. They're supposed to earn your vote, and within earning your vote, the only reason you're earning the only way that you earn your vote is by doing what you're voting for them to do. So like when your point, it's like, well, Obama came in. once again, at least the guy was just class through and through. Now he was a fuck. He was out here deporting.
He came through. He deported more people than Trump.
No, that's good. That's a good representation. That is a representation.
Launch a war in Libya without congressional approval, and then when Congress told him no, he continued to drone bomb Libya for like 30 more days, 60 more days. Yeah, Obama.
Obama's disgusting, and he should be in
matters.
But
what you're telling the country about the matters.
But for the record, I condemn Obama on a lot of levels. He was right to do that for Libya.
I'm just curious. Like, there's two things. One, I'm actually sick of the idea that this isn't what people want. Like I hate MAGA, but like the MAGA, the full on MAGA heads are right that like, no, this is like, to some degree, this is what they voted for. Like Trump isn't like the shit sandwich. Trump is like the ideal. Like there was a Republican primary. This is Trump overwhelmingly. Like we don't want to hear
voted
anybody
for someone else in the primary, just to be clear.
Yeah,
right? I'm not a member of that MAGA.
I'm not speaking to you.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not.
Well, all he was. That's the only reason why.
Well, no, I wasn't speaking to you, but I'm saying you still ended up voting for this guy. This does put so like to my point, like the character doesn't really seem to matter, right?
Well, and
that's what I said.
That
was just that much compared to
that was a two-part thing. I just wanted to put that out there that like whenever we talk about everything Trump's done wrong, like we just say like, nobody actually wanted him. This is just what we got. Like, no, a lot of people really, really wanted him. Most people really, really, really wanted him as an ideal, perfect president. The second thing I'll say is that I don't like that we always vague post about. Again, I'd just rather deal with specifics. I don't want to make this about Kamala at all. I don't want to venture into this conversation, but I hate when you say like we didn't really want them, but the alternative was like the worst thing that could ever possibly happen in the United States, and it's like to Prom's dismay, he believed that Kamala Harris would most likely be a continuation of Biden from 2020 to 2024. Like you would see, you would get
disastrous.
You're just gonna get Biden 2.0, yeah. Oh,
he got cut off.
Or worse.
That's what you believe was going to happen. Biden. What was going to be the we can't possibly let this win. Like what was the thing that was going to end?
Sorry, we missed some of that. So what was
essentially what was that? What was the thing that makes you like, we have to vote for Trump because the alternative was like the end?
Okay. Are you asking me or
yeah? I get you not progressive. I'm not even talking about like, she does Democrat stuff. I'm saying like something that was like absolutely the scary thing that Kamala Harris was.
Yeah,
well, okay.
What was the deal breaker?
I'll give you one. Like just from like, and I think it was also like the dishonest way the media was portraying things. This one stands out to me because it happened on election night. Laptop was there. Was when they said, "Oh, we're going to do trans surgeries for illegal immigrants," and I laughed because that is the most absurd bullshit I've ever heard. Then we look it up, and she actually did. She proposed this to the ACLU as policy. Hold on, and so she pushed this. Hold on. Yeah, exactly. It's 2024. So, like, you're saying somebody who, best case scenario, is Biden 2.0, right? Like, that's bad because Biden was horrible, in my opinion. Worst president in, like, maybe history. Especially if you're like, economic guy. He was bad, right? Like, I can't stand him. He's as bad as Hoover. And so when you say in my mind, at least in my lifetime, he's the worst president for sure, that we're going to get Biden 2.0 at best case, and we're going to get progressive even further left than Biden in a best case. Whoo, buddy, boy, am I out quicker than like a whore on nickel night. I'm just saying, like, I'm not trying to fucking deal with that vision. Yeah, it's crazy that you're gonna go. I don't understand. Like, I don't even like a lot of Trump's policies. Like, some of his shit's like bad. He's fucking with the beef industry. He could really cause a global beef market.
Prices all time
the one time it affects him. Like, I don't like it.
Hold on, I'll give you another one. Guns. I'm not a huge fan.
But bragging about high beef prices like a month ago.
Yeah, but okay. Well, the reason we're not going to die. We don't want a 40-minute dissertation about why it's the beef thing is a problem. But because it's not
Argentinian beef.
But with the guns,
Argentinian beef,
the Argentina beef deal. Yeah, he's wants to increase it, but they'll already have the same problems we are. If we have any kind of like impact on the market, it'll cause both our fucking beef things to crash, which will drive everything way higher. It's all bad. Sorry. Anyway, summaries. Back to the gun prices. And the gun thing, I don't like his gun takes. But if my choice was between Trump, who will let me have like some guns, or I don't know, Kamala, who's like, take them all.
Wait. You're okay with limits?
I don't think Donald Trump
he'll let you have some.
No, I'm not okay with limited at all.
Eventually,
but
hold on. You just said Trump will let me have some guns. Democrats want to get rid of them. So eventually, what if the Republicans want to get rid of limit and limit?
Ollie, as a voter, is what it tells me as a voter is okay. Trump is softer on this stance than Kamala is. I will be able to fight more battles against Trump than I will be against.
Kamala's a gun owner, though, right?
Yeah, but he's not. Yeah, but
do you think Donald Trump owns a gun?
Remind me again.
Kamala has already made part of her platform getting rid of the guns. That was
no, she hasn't. Like, she said, I'm getting rid of the guns.
Tried to stop it with a terrible photo shoot. She absolutely said this, and she tried to go in here and sit and do a little photo shoot with her and Walls saying they're hunters, and it was pathetic. Versus, listen, Trump has already made his policy clear, but it's a low priority on his list, and he'll probably have to fight tooth and nail to get it done, and he's not going to fight that battle. So if I have to choose between the two, and there's less on this side and way more on the other, obviously I'm picking Trump. Like, I don't like.
Yeah, how long does that go for before both options aren't viable?
How long? Like I said, I didn't want to make it about it just feels like we didn't name anything specific.
So
I
named three things specific off the top of my head. Or like, and you say
they're all wrong. You said that you wanted to get rid of all the guns.
What policy? Trans
policy
with illegal immigrants. That goes to the tax policy.
That didn't happen.
Anyway, it did happen. She proposed.
No, in 2019, in the 2024 presidential run, she said nothing about trans surgeries.
Are you telling me that we don't look at somebody's body of work prior to their election for president? And if you are, then I just don't respect your opinion because I know you're smart.
No, I'm saying that people. She literally moved her position.
In her body of work, she put this forward. That was one, and that speaks.
But she moved the position.
My tax dollars being wasted, which would be under Biden 2.0, which is what the best case scenario in my opinion. Y'all's worst case. Oh, that's awful. I don't want that. Those tax dollars are wasted. And three, we could go into the first thing. I don't know what the third thing was. We've gone through three now.
She was going to take.
We can come up with a third thing if we need.
Oh, the guns. Yeah, the guns for three. She's harder on guns. Like that's right there. That's just three off the top of my head. And I'm sure if I really thought about it, it'd go down more.
No, she was way harder. She was way harder on guns. She consistently supported what she would call an assault rifle ban, echoing the 1996 assault weapons ban. Yeah,
I mean, if that's what the base is asking for.
Hold on, wait.
I don't believe she said that in 2020.
All right, let me post it.
If that's what the base is asking for.
Didn't Trump just recently say, like, you can't show up to a protest with a gun?
But Ali, why does it matter what our base is asking for?
Yeah.
You said Ali.
No, it does matter.
Your base asked for that. Hold on, your base asked for that, and you said, okay, she should run that platform. I'm saying Trump's base said we like our guns. He ran a softer gun stance, and we're getting what we want. Why would we not vote for that? Like,
so this is kind of really what I'm. This is kind of what I'm saying. If it's just going to continuously go like tit for tat, tit for tat, tit for tat. You guys don't want this. We want this. We're gonna. So like then okay, why can't we like? So you're basically just telling Democrats we should find our Trump. You're telling leftists we should find our Trump. Vote him in and kind of get all the shit we want for 4 years, executive orders and so on and so forth. But it's like at a certain point, that's going to be the downfall of the country. If every 4 years we're just swinging to extremes, right? Because we have no decorum, because we have no fucking like idea of how to actually run a cohesive country and like unite people, while we're sitting here doing memes about past presidents being monkeys and shit, which fine. If you want to say, well, no, I don't think it was directly racist, but we know the implications that come with calling black people monkeys. That's to Lactoid's point. He has to sit here and go out of his way to not call black people monkeys when he's yelling at all the other people that he called, which I've heard you yell at a lot of people. Lactoid, I've never heard you call them monkeys. All right, listen, I'm just saying.
He did just call me a monkey, by the way.
I'm pretty sure a couple weeks ago, I actually said fucking. I'm pretty sure I said monkey.
Clips or it didn't happen. Anyways, I'm just saying that eventually, eventually, the standard keeps dropping. The standard keeps dropping. We don't want a president. We just want a bully, right? We just want a bully that does what we want.
And now remember history. We have more rules on what you could post on a website like social media than we used to in like 2008, 2009. Do you not imagine? Do you not remember like Jib Jab, where they had the president like do the little like battles versus each other and all the wild racist shit they would say? Like it was a way wilder place when the internet first spawned up than it is now. We're like, you're saying we have more decorum. Like, we have like less decorum? I would argue we actually have more decorum now. There's more rules on social media sites than there were previously.
Posted an AI video of him flying a plane and dropping shit over citizens. Like, what do you mean? like he's literally flying a plane, dropping shit over. This is just an AI. This is just one AI video, one runoff that he puts out.
That's hilarious.
Have you seen the White House Twitter page?
He calls women who ask him questions fat piggies. And like, why don't you
look at the Twitter page? Come on,
he said that about, but he's like, hold on. The difference is he stands on business. When they go, Trump, did you call Tim Walz with Todd? What did he say? He goes, yeah, there's something wrong with him. Like, that's based. Like, I wish more.
No, he doesn't answer questions. He doesn't stand on business.
Hold on. Did he not answer that when they asked him if he
answered that question?
Oh, okay.
Trump is not good at answering questions.
If I get a question from the reporter and I go, no, fat piggy, is to her face. Is that like
no? That's not standing on business to avoid the question.
I'm standing on business. I'm sorry. Maybe you want this fake bullshit.
Gibbs,
I like it when these people are saying it with their chest.
Gibbs, Bam, I linked you something.
But then he wanted to sue Bill Maher for calling him an orangutan.
Yeah, that was awful. Do you agree that Kamala Harris wanted to ban assault weapons? Yes, that was awful. I've been making fun of Trump's suing of Bill Maher like. Plenty of times.
I thought you were saying what Bill Maher did was awful.
No. The whole lawsuit was fucking crazy.
All right, cool, awesome.
It was hilarious.
I'm just saying to Gibbs' point, he stands on business.
Sure, no, Trump should be criticized for that until
for his whole life. He decided to sue him. He said talk shit. Now you're gonna get hit.
That was a awful lawsuit. It was very dumb. He actually literally presented a birth certificate saying, "Look, I proved to you that I'm not an orangutan. Like clearly you're defaming me." And that, of course, he lost because what a fucking dumbass fucking lawsuit. Terrible, terrible case. Now, Bam just ran, obviously, clearly, because I proved what he said before when he said that he didn't think that Kamala Harris supported a 2020 assault weapons ban in 2024. She did. She also did in 2022. She also did in 2019. I'm not comfortable, especially when there's no walk back, to just saying, well, that's 2019, Kamala. We're talking 5 years and no substantive walk back. She never, at any point, at least as far as I'm aware, during her campaign in 2024, walked back the free transgender operations for illegal immigrants. She never walked that back.
Because she had 4 months to run a campaign.
She didn't reiterate it.
To run an apology tour in her first month, and so that's all you guys could focus on.
Ali, with how much shit she got from that?
Because you guys would run that sentence into the fucking grave.
No, she would say the same shit that everyone said about gay marriage. I evolved on the issue.
Kamala Harris is for they them.
Yeah, you can. The best response to that would have been, actually, we're not going to do that.
You can say that to it to Bam directly.
Yeah, Bam. I'm gonna say I heard your question. Yeah, I'm not gonna deny. Once I seen what you said, I was like, oh yeah, I do remember the context of that related to AR-15. I think it was dumb policy, but also like honest position.
So that's one example.
Do you think what chance do you think it had of passing? Like she said it. What chance do you think is like, oh, this could probably happen?
She said it for the votes. It's what people want.
Democrats push this every single time there's a mass shooting. If there was some kind of Democrat majority in Congress, along with a Kamala Harris president, and then there was some kind of mass event like that, I think that there is
like
a chance.
The regular gun violence we have in this country.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, then tell the kids to stop shooting up the schools and the clubs.
These kids, how do I reach these kids?
He calls them monkeys all the time.
I call them
dumb monkeys. He wonders why they're shooting.
But then I can't do that because then I'm going to get in trouble. So. Yeah, I think
there's black kids shooting up the schools. It's white kids. You're fine.
I think there's a real.
Because they don't count the ones that shoot outside of school.
Hold on. I think there's a real chance. Here's what I know. I think there's a real chance that Kamala Harris would, back gun restrictions and gun bans. B, might actually get that done at a higher rate than a Republican president, and potentially up to and including a assault weapons ban. But then 3, at the very least. She is going to be appointing judges that I disagree with. This was one of the main reasons I voted against her. But that are not only going to disagree with me like on the substantive principle way of interpreting the law, but they're also going to oppose gun rights. Very consistently. Look at all the major gun cases. Is it the Democrat-appointed judges that are the ones voting in favor of gun rights?
Yeah, no, like Toy, you're a conservative. I understand that she doesn't support your values. I don't think I've heard you say that like, oh, like I had to vote for Trump because the alternative was like the end of society as we know it, like the world would end. Like I
didn't say that. Thank you, Bam, for agreeing with me. Anyway, now we got that agreement.
Yeah.
6-second rewind. Bam. Right.
It's all right. It doesn't matter. I don't need to say words.
He's demoralized.
Okay. All right. Well, then I'll say words. Then I'll use this opportunity to jump in. Okay. And
I do want better.
Pretty much.
I have, by the way, I have so many policy positions that I can just rattle off right now. Like, for me, the whole thing has been policy positions. For me, like, if we want to make this about Kamala, I can find shit. I can find shit about Kamala. I can find shit about Tim Walz, right? I mean, Tim Walz on abortion is horrific. Absolutely horrific.
Horrifically good. Magically delicious. Okay, hold on.
Hold on. So, the Biden administration on the border, Kamala Jr.?
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Horrifically delicious.
Put Biden in jail. That's where he belongs. He belongs in the Hague. So if we can agree on that, then we can build some bridges here. Okay.
See, I don't agree with that though. I don't want Biden to be arrested.
No, you just don't want him to be in the Hague. That's your problem.
No, I don't think he should be arrested at all.
Based.
Okay.
Hold on. This is how based I am. I didn't think Hunter Biden should have been arrested. I was defending Hunter Biden.
Hold on. That's only because
fuck that. No. You're just okay. So no, this goes into the what I want to talk about, right? So let's discuss this. And my comments are for Lactoid, right? So two things. First, we start with this. Lactoid. Do you think we understand the clip, like the clip that Trump posted was mostly about the election denial, right?
Yeah.
Just pure nonsense that he's spitting out as usual, right? But that's like the meat for the Republican Party, right? Raw meat for them. But okay, that's what he put out. But there was just like a sliver of a clip at the end. Okay. Lactoid, do you think the full video?
No, I don't agree.
The original video. I understand that. Okay. Do you think it was racist? The context that. You don't think the video with the Obamas as the gorillas were racist? You don't think it's racist?
The full. Okay, when you say the full video, are you talking about the full voter fraud video?
Yeah, the voter fraud video. Yeah, that's what I meant. No, not the voter fraud. No, sorry, not the voter fraud video.
The full where they're all dancing around as.
Yeah, the jungle video. Yeah.
Marginally, maybe.
Marginally, hold on. Is depicting black people as apes, would that be a racist thing to do?
If it's done with the intent of like demeaning them as monkeys, yes.
Do you think that? Hold on. Do you think that was an uplifting video? Do you think that's? It wasn't that. Like that video was okay. So then,
do you think that was
no. Hold on. Let me explain.
Do you think that was a specific choice, Lactoid? Just to answer that one real quick. Do you think that was a specific choice, or do you think that it was just happenstance that the Obamas were the apes and no one else was? I just really answer that directly.
I don't want you to have to fight us on this, man. Yeah. Like, come on.
Just directly on that.
I don't know if the decision was made with the intention.
Do you believe it was happenstance?
No, there's a difference
deliberate choice.
No, there's
he can't look into his heart.
It's either happenstance or it's a deliberate choice.
No, that's not true. There's different kinds.
What's the third choice?
There are different kinds of deliberate choices.
As always, right? He can do it.
Maybe it's just a troll. Can you just make a troll and not be racist?
Right? He can understand people's
intentions. The troll is that it's racist.
When we talk
like, what's
about
the joke?
No,
I said the joke is y'all called us racist for like years and years.
I'm taking a position.
Okay, fine. Here's a joke. Like, watch how y'all freak out.
Yeah, I'm taking a position. I'm taking a position of I don't know what the underlying motivation could be. It could be because you guys are the ones asserting that you know for sure. I'm saying it could be that they were making the video.
Lactoid. Stop it. No. Don't get it out. No, stop right there, right? Because you're like making the position that you know for sure what his intentions are. Lactoid. We know within our cultural context what that means, right? Lactoid, you're always running interference for racists. We know that you do that, right? And so here you are again. And like I said, you can't look into his heart, right? You don't know what's in his inner heart. So maybe, right?
There's a plausible alternative.
There are so many animals that could be have been chosen, right? But he specifically used apes. But like, who could tell? I don't know.
Apes famously not in the Lion King, by the way.
Of course, now this is your usual bullshit. So no, Lactoid, don't finish the point. if you're not going to actually address the issue. This is your bullshit dancing. Your useful.
First of all, a main character is an ape in The Lion King.
Once again,
no, he's not an ape.
It's a baboon.
Once it comes to race, Lactoid can't understand. He doesn't understand anything.
Wait,
right?
monkey
He
not
can't
an
be
ape?
sure of anything, right? He can be very sure on everything else. When it comes to race, I don't know. Like 80, 20, 50, 60. I don't know the percentages, man. Yeah, it's really fucking disgusting.
For the
It's a
record, Gibbs, I'm
regular
saying
thing
like
with you,
specifically
actually.
like it was a baboon. There aren't really apes and monkeys in The Lion King.
Yeah, it's
There's
a
a baboon.
primate.
Apes in the
Primate,
line.
it's an ape. Okay.
Well,
okay.
Lactoid,
It's a
Lactoid.
technicality.
Lactoid. So to channel Bam, who I don't know if he can talk now, but okay. In the movie, Remember the Titans, when the coach hands a banana to the other coach, do you think that was motivated by racism?
I didn't watch that movie.
Okay.
You didn't watch. That's
You
your
didn't
problem.
watch Remember the Titans?
That's why you haven't watched Remember the Titans.
When they
You know what I mean?
gave the
you seen
little,
You
Tropic
didn't
Thunder?
watch Remember the Titans? Wait, I gotta really.
Hold on,
at the risk of
Man,
being
that's a
called
top
racist
10
once
movie.
again.
Like,
Hold
it's a
on.
good
I
movie.
didn't see it. I didn't
You don't
see it. I
like
didn't see it.
Denzel.
At the risk of being called racist again,
I didn't call you racist.
I am recalling or running cover for racist. Well, this actually might.
There you go.
If I remember correctly, in Tarzan, didn't they give like the little gorilla like a black voice? Am I totally hallucinating that?
No, I think you're
I can't
correct.
remember.
Okay.
I think
thought that was Rosie
wasn't it-
O'Donnell.
Oh no,
What's
that
that?
Yeah, it was Rosie
You're right. You're
O'Donnell.
right.
It
Was that Rosie O'Donnell?
It was Rosie
It
O'Donnell.
was, yeah. That was
Right.
that's a good deep
Yeah,
lore
yeah.
get right there, man.
Yeah.
I'm a movie.
I was gonna say though, but hold on. Can you make
It was kind of a
racist
black-coded,
joke
like
and it not be
black-coded voice,
racist?
though. It seemed.
And I
And
want to point out,
Lion
You
King,
can't make
the
a
hyenas are
racist
black.
joke and not be racist.
Or at least the
well,
one
they,
with
hold
Whoopi
on,
Goldberg.
no,
It's
they
a
were
racist
also the
joke.
hyenas were also German Nazis. If you remember, they did the
Yeah,
stop
yeah,
and the
they did the.
so, but
launch, yeah.
so whatever. But I got one. Do we've all seen? I thought when you said the movie that ended racism, I thought you was mentioned Tropic Thunder, right? Because we have Robert Downey Jr. doing like blackface as a meme for guys that can method act, right? And then it turns into a thing. And he gives that speech to the other guy. He's like, "You're just a dude, play another." And I think even though technically all those jokes that Robert Downey Jr. makes while blackface would be racist, right? At the same time, he's doing it ironically, so you can make racist jokes
Always
and not be
Sunny,
racist, right?
It was
Always
Sunny's a good example.
Fuck that movie.
Always Sunny
Fuck
did it
that
best.
movie. Tropic Thunder was awful, right? It was a bad
about
movie
Always Sunny?
just to begin with.
Always
It was an awful
Sunny,
movie.
Always Sunny did it
And
best.
yeah, that was a disgusting. Hold on, stop. And it was disgusting that Robert Downey Jr. Did that. Disgusting that was put on a film. Fuck Robert Downey Jr. for that. Fuck that whole movie. There you go.
I don't think that's a popular opinion.
Yeah,
I know it's not
I
popular.
don't think you're wrong,
but it's a
but
disgusting
I think
movie. It's
a lot
a,
of-
yeah,
Yeah, what do you
I know
think,
it's not
bro?
popular, right? Yeah, it's a disgusting movie.
I'm not gonna
Um,
argue Prime on that. You can have your
Well,
opinions on
here, I
Tropic
got a
Thunder.
question for you then. In
But wait,
Django-
no, wait,
Dan,
oh,
what
wait,
do you
real
think?
quick.
You
Always
echo that
Sunny,
opinion,
Always
Dan?
Sunny kind of did it best, right? When you ask like someone to do a Obama impersonation, right? And then they don't do an Obama impersonation, they just do the stereotypical like black ghetto voice. Well, yeah, that's racist because you can impersonate a black person as long as you're impersonating a black person, not just a caricature of like some crazy thing. And that's kind of like the idea. But like also, Lacto, did you answer that question if it was a deliberate choice or if it was just happenstance, or did we?
I
kinda skip
tried to
past that?
answer, but Prime told me not to.
Okay, answer
Am I
it, please. I want
allowed?
to see. I want to know. I would like to see the answer. I would like to see what he does.
But go ahead, no, fine. If you want to hear it, but it doesn't matter what the answer is.
I want to hear his defense. It's always fun.
So there's like different possibilities. I think one of the possibilities is that they were specifically chosen to demean them as monkeys and demean them as apes. This idea of like, oh, look, they're basically apes. Another possibility, what it could be, is that the creator of the video, and like I said, the whole video is dumb and childish, but the creator of the video was putting people who they thought looked most like the animals they were putting on the faces of, and they just thought the Obamas looked most like the monkeys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is that better?
Yeah. And
Is that the defense?
I think it's better.
That's his defense.
Okay.
Is
And
that
so,
black?
and so-
now
and so,
he's
like,
saying
once
like,
again-
yeah, maybe black people.
No.
look like
So once
monkeys.
again, it was a Lions King theme, and like gorillas and apes famously not in the Lions King, right? I'm just saying. I think.
I
the people
didn't even
surrounding
fucking remember that. Like,
I
it's like
think the
Pringles
people
mustache or
surrounding
whatever,
the
like-
president. I think the people surrounding the president, right? Like to the whole kind of discussion of like character and people around him. So you would hope that the person running the social media page, you would hope that the president of the social media page or the you know would sit here and focus on any of that. But
no, I know. Wait. No, hold on. Let me respond to that. So you're sure, like, I think that when you're running the social media for any kind of the president or any person, but especially the president.
No, the president.
You should. Right, I said or any like famous person, but especially
focus on the president specifically.
But especially the president, especially in this case.
Only the president.
You're right. Nobody running social media should care about anybody whatsoever unless they're President Trump's social media manager.
Okay.
Then they
notice
should
how you didn't call me a monkey there. I'm just saying.
Then I was close. Okay. Then they should care. Okay. Yeah, it's probably a good idea to like think about how this might be received by your audience. And if it's going to be received by a considerable amount of people as meaning something different than what you intend, you probably shouldn't do it. This is a perfectly rational. This is a perfect. Yeah, again, they shared it by fucking mistake in the first place. The other question, I really don't know this. Prime, do you think in Django, when the white people were saying the N-word, you had a problem with that too, just like you had a problem with the blackface in Tropic Thunder?
And Django,
they were racist.
Yeah, they were like they were being portrayed.
Like the character was racist.
Yeah. Well, and Robert Downey Jr. was portraying like how Hollywood sees black people as well. Like that was the whole theme. That was the whole meme. And so in Django Unchained, I agree with you. Like they were accurately portraying 1800s slave owners, but they were. I mean, we had a bunch of white people there dropping the hard R.
That wasn't.
If I can't do it in a song, why can they do it on a screen? Can somebody explain this to me?
They were portraying. Sorry, let me stop this. I don't give a fuck about this, right? Let's be clear. I don't give a fuck about any of that shit, right? I care that like Lactoid, right? Once again, he can't tell. He's unable to understand what's in a person's heart, and so we can't say anything, right? Like that's how it works in court, right? Like we can never look into a person's hearts. We can never like intuit intentions, right? Like their actions had nothing to do with what's going on. We can't.
Well, they're mistakes, not
social
actions.
cues. We can't use any other evidence, right? But because we can't see into his heart.
The assumption should just be that the creators of the video thought black people were subhuman. That should just be the assumption.
Wait, I didn't even say like whether the creator of the clip was racist, right? I asked, hey, is this use racist, right? And
the use was a mistake.
He can't. Oh, it was a mistake. Once again, yes, a very lawyerly response. It was a mistake, right? No, but I'm not asking if it was a fucking mistake, Lactoid. I'm asking, hey, like, was the full clip, right? Not the clip that Trump posted, but the full clip, was that racist? Was its use there racist? And again,
it could be used in a racist way.
Yeah, it could be. It could be, Lactoid. Yeah. Yes, keep hedging your fucking bets, Lactoid.
It could be.
Always, when it comes to race, when it comes to race, he can't say anything definitively. Not when it comes to racism. He can't be sure.
That's actually the hard R for him.
The Holocaust.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? But the
slavery was also racist.
I want to bring a comparative.
He can always be sure. He can always be sure when it happens in the past.
Affirmative action is racist against white people.
When people are dead.
Lactoid can never be sure, right, about anti-black racism in the future. Like, in the present, he never has any idea. It's like he's struggling.
I absolutely can't be sure.
Hold on.
In situations where it's clear.
Hold on.
Sure.
I
literally black people as monkeys, right? He can't be sure. It's not positive. Okay, moving on from that, right? Hold on. Sorry, I got other things that I didn't get a chance to say, so I'm gonna get those out. Right. It's also interesting, right? Once again, I said this to Lactoid previously, right? It was harsh words, but I'm gonna have to say it to him again. Lactoid, you're acting like a fucking liberal. You're acting like a fucking liberal. And it's a low blow, but I have to say it. It's really disgusting. Lactoid, right? So you talked about at the very start of this, you talked about how
that's what I said.
Yeah. What do you think what do you think I'm about to reference here?
Oh, I'm sorry. You said the beginning of this. I just referenced the first thing I said. Sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, no.
You said it was malarkey.
That's what you said.
You said it was jibber jabber.
At the very start, right? You talk about how yes, if Trump was showing came up more in the Epstein files. I mean, Trump is also has the most numerous mentions, I think, in the Epstein file other than Epstein himself, right? But still, right? If Trump in Epstein files, it reveals that he was doing something, doing awful things to kids within on the island, right? Yeah. That would be a step too far, correct? That's what you said?
I did.
Okay, right? All of a sudden, Lactoid has standards. He didn't have standards before. In fact, he brought this up again, right? He when he was responding to Ali, right? He doesn't actually have standards. It's all about the policy. But now he has standards. Now, I'm not going to push back against that. Yeah, that's a pretty good standard to have, right? No child rape. That's great, right? But it's interesting how the conservative / liberal mind works, right? When we slim down and compact the trauma, the violations, right, to an individual that you can see, right? You can see Virginia Giuffre. You can see the other victims, right? You can see those individuals. But when we're talking about a genocide, that's not something that registers with Lactoid. That's not something that might be a problem, right? Like literally people being slaughtered, right, and also raped, right? Because that's what they're doing. They're doing that in Israel, right? They're doing that within the prison camps. They're doing that in the occupied territories. Like a lot of sexual assault happens in exactly these situations, right? But it's not directly in front of Lactoid's face, and so. Right, it doesn't actually factor in, and so supporting a genocide like Trump, like Joe Biden, right? That's okay. That doesn't factor into his calculations, right? But now he saw he saw a victim of sexual assault on the news, right? And it's they were happen to be American, they happen to be white, honestly, right? And now Lactoid, that would be a problem, and if Trump engaged in that action, he'd be heartbroken. Now that's the reason why he wouldn't vote for him. Interesting, a very liberal take on ethics. And I'm sorry, I'm like, go ahead.
Okay, so it's not actually. I'm not measuring the harm here because you're right in terms of any president. They've made policy determinations that are trade-offs and have arguably caused, certain ones of them have caused way more harm. You could argue that on aggregate, every single president has done more harm than just like abusing one child. You could argue that. For me, it is the kind of person that would have the capacity to personally do that, not in terms of like a sort of policy driven, like, are we going to support Israel or are we not, geopolitical influence, blah, 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 kind of higher level thought process. To me, like any president or almost any person put in that position, I think can run through that analysis and make tough decisions. And sometimes they're not going to be the best decisions, but it's at least I can see the logic. But when it comes to somebody having the moral, we disagree on the facts of genocide.
Ethnic cleansing, make it easier for you. Ethnic cleansing, a logic supporting ethnic cleansing campaign?
Potentially, yeah. Potentially.
You can see, okay, great.
Potentially.
Understood.
Great. Sure.
Yeah.
And now
you don't see the logic of sticking your dick into someone,
no.
right?
No, in terms of in terms of the moral character of somebody doing that action, I think at that point you've crossed the line into irredeemable.
You are better. Okay, so we're understanding Lactoid's liberal thinking brain here. Okay, right? So rape, bad, right? Ethnic cleansing, not as bad.
I mean, correct? That's an incredibly
hold on, but that's how
way of putting it. Well, no, because it's not just like, okay, we've had the discussion multiple times.
Hold on,
let me address this.
Vote for them or not.
No, let me address this.
Ethnic cleansing, okay, you vote for them.
Oh, God.
Like rape, you don't vote.
Let me address this.
That's what you've said.
I know.
Correct?
Let me address this. When we're talking about ethnic cleansing, if we're talking about just ethnic cleansing out of nowhere, like without a bunch of different policy considerations, like that could be horribly bad. Maybe that would even be like across the line. But when you're talking about, supporting Israel that was attacked on October 7th and had thousands or over 1,000 people, their own citizens, raped and killed.
Yeah, sure.
And they're suffering the rocket attacks every couple of years.
Campaign beforehand.
And they're suffering rocket attacks every couple.
Because of the apartheid campaign.
Oh, God.
And that
I understand. I get it. I get it.
I get it.
If you're an American president,
you don't have to go through the whole thing. I get it, right? I've heard it all from liberals. Everything you're saying is what a liberal has said. All of it, right? And so when I call you a fucking liberal, right, this is what I mean. This is what they do, right? But you think you're better than them. You're not. You do the exact same moral preening, right? The exact same moral equivalency, like trying to find a way for this all to make sense, other than to say it's all wrong. Hey, like for me, right? I can say, right, raping children is bad. I'm not going to vote for you, and I can also say, super easy,
okay,
ethnic cleansing is bad.
So you wouldn't vote for you. You wouldn't vote for any. Simple. What president would you vote for? Name me a president, and I'll find you a war crime.
The ones that don't cleanse.
Wait.
I don't know.
Find me a president, and I will find you a war crime they did.
Yeah, hold on. I'm willing for you to do that, right? I'm willing to say that maybe all those presidents should go to jail. I've already said that already. I don't have any problem with that, right? My eyes have been opened up as I've gone, as I've learned more about the world. My eyes have been opened up exactly what presidents do. So yes, it might be the case that I throw them all in jail. I have no problem doing that. Because I have standards, I have principles. You have none.
I think you become worthless if that's a
thing. Sorry, I don't want to do the whole thing.
No, Bam wants to agree.
You already did the whole thing.
One more thing, and then everyone can jump in, right? Final thing. Towards Lactoids, and then Gibbs gets to jump in. Bam. All right. So you talk about maybe this point is moot. We'll find out, right? You say about Kamala Harris that I believe it was Kamala Harris that your problem is that she didn't apologize. There was a policy position, and
that she didn't walk back all the crazy shit she was saying in 2019.
She didn't walk back all the crazy shit. Trump has not apologized for this clip. Trump has not apologized. Now, again, we can say, like, from your perspective, I understand. One, well, I don't understand. You can't be sure if it was racist. Whatever, fine. But still, like, I'm going from your standpoint, right? That at least it was a mistake. It was in poor taste, correct? Right? That's your position. That
and he's walked it back.
Have done it.
He's just not saying the word sorry.
Yeah. So hold on, but then he didn't.
I wouldn't expect that from Kamala. I wouldn't. No, I would not. Hold on. Yes, he said it. He said that he didn't see that last part, and that a staffer made a mistake. That's what he said. If Kamala said the 2019 ACLU petition that I put forward, that was a mistake, but I'm not going to apologize for it. That is enough for me to no longer accuse her of having that position, because it's a crazy position. Now, I could say I suspect she actually still holds this position. She's just, accepting the fact that
she did walk it back. She said, "I'm going to follow the law." That's what she said. Like when asked about it, like, you support this, I'm going to follow the law.
Yeah, she just repeated that. That's not walking it back.
Wait, Trump didn't say it was a mistake. He said, if anything, it wasn't a mistake. He said, "I didn't make a mistake." And I quote.
She said,
but we hold Trump to a different speaking standard too.
Apparently,
he has said it was in other statements. Yes, he has walked it back.
But he says lots of different things. He lies all the time.
He says lots of different things.
Yeah, but this comes back to a different thing, and I think
real quick. It's also much more believable that this is a clip, like a 1-second clip on the end of the kind of video that Trump actually would share. Like, to me, it's very believable.
Trump would share both.
To me, this is very believable that this actually was a mistake that Trump made. It is not believable to me that Kamala Harris made a mistake when she said that in 2019. I genuinely believe that she still believes it.
Right. You don't think that Trump will post the...
I don't.
Man, you got to start messaging Prime what you want to say, man.
I don't believe it. Why is it going to be Prime? Fuck.
I
black voice, the black voice, baby. I'm not. You want to speak on behalf of Bam?
I do.
No, I was going to ask Bam earlier, because about the if he had the same opinion as Prime. Also, I wish my camera froze like Bam's, but I do have this issue. We
kind of has the greatest freeze frames on earth.
Yeah, it's been fantastic each time. But like, I'm sitting here going, listen to this, and it's like, I want to know what your take was, Bam, if you're back, about like what Prime said earlier with Tropic Thunder, because I agree it's not the popular take, but like at this point, it's kind of swung so far with the pendulum one way. It was for so long, everything's racist. If you do anything, it's like your microaggressions. Y'all remember that microaggressions era? It's all bad, and it's like, okay, can comedy be racist and still be funny, right? Like if you have a best friend that's of another race, like y'all are gonna make racist jokes to each other sometimes. Y'all are gonna both laugh. It's funny, good time. No one's being spirited. If someone else said something like that in public, it'd be an issue, right? It's the same thing. It's like, okay, we go to a comedian and they make a racist joke and everybody laughs. It's kind of a thing. Like, I don't know that comedy in and of itself is necessarily racist. Like, and I think that's like part of the problem now.
It has to be funny. It has
sure,
to be
that's
funny.
the key. It's have to be funny. Yeah.
So like Bam calls me Habibi all the time, but if I just go ahead and drop an N, it's like, it's not funny. Right, there's no value there. There's no comedic value there. So like when you have a video depicting like Barack and Michelle Obama as monkeys, it's like, here's the thing: what's the joke? Right? What's the funny thing? That they're monkeys? That they're stupid? Like, what's
I'm not
joke?
even going to take Lactoid's thing and say it wasn't racist. I mean, it probably is racist. I would say
no.
It's more
Here's
than
the thing: you can
that
have
the video
racist jokes
racist.
that are funny. You can have racist jokes that are funny. Listen, race comedy is fucking hilarious. All right, but like, it has to be funny.
There was
and
no
like,
other part of the video that was
the joke
funny.
can't just be the joke. Can't just be well, they're black.
That wasn't the joke. Like
what was the joke?
Them it was.
There was no joke. It was a terrible video. They had Huckabee as a giraffe.
Jokes.
What was funny about that?
Isn't that
What's the
punchline of it being racist then? If it's
the
like,
mayor of
there's no humor aspect to it.
No, and they had AOC as like an antelope or whatever.
So there was no joke. So it was just racist.
No, it was just dumb.
So it was dumb, but no way.
He can't say
it.
He can say for sure it was dumb.
Was it racist to portray AOC as an antelope? Do we know for sure? Maybe maybe the creator is making fun of her.
Calling Puerto Ricans or whatever AOC is.
Like we say, but Lactoid, you couldn't tell one way or the other, right? How would you know? You can't look into his heart, so you can't be sure, right?
I'm pretty sure he was telling her a bird.
There's no way we could ever tell.
Maybe he just picked the one that looked most like it. Maybe
we could never figure it out.
But hold on, like I have this issue because there is like a difference, like between what Lactoid's saying and like or what Ali's saying and what like Lactoid's saying. I think you can have racism be humorous. I think sometimes it's good to make light of like the idea. Oh, everything I do is racist. There's nothing I can do in Trump's case that wouldn't be called racist. Versus like say something like I'll fucking call him out right now because I'm not a bitch. Something like Connor does and starts using Nazi words like subhuman and shit to describe people or call them like certain like groups of animals. Like that's obviously racist. I think that's like
I think Connor's
people
just 40. I don't know. Well, I think he's just on a different part of it. He was just around
same kind of thing.
But when are you and Connor going to become friends again? Let's all become friends. Come on.
Well, see, I'm just saying, Trump. See, when he called my businesses. Even we even had a video posted about that. I'm just saying, like with Trump,
wait, he
like
called
it's
your
a meme.
businesses?
Yeah, I literally had somebody. They were like
allegedly.
Yeah,
allegedly.
Gibbs, can I answer your question?
I have clips of the people admitting that saying that somebody did this.
Yeah, okay, just make sure you get me. So, yeah, actually, like I don't think Tropic Thunder was that funny of a movie. But I don't lean towards the portion of Robert Downey Jr.'s character being like, I mean, it was a racist depiction, but I don't think Robert Downey Jr. did anything racist. I think that was the point. Like that was the humor of it was in that. And I also agree with Ali that like, yes, you can have racial based humor that's funny. I think that Shane Gillis unironically does good race humor, but I think it's because. But the thing about race humor is you have to understand what's the joke. The joke has to be that the racism is bad. The joke can't be that like black people are monkeys. Like that black people are actually monkeys. If that's the joke, like that's the humor of it, then it's like, oh, we're not.
Yeah, well, okay. So, but what's too far? Like, is the Trade Federation having Chinese accents like racist? Like, hold on, like, because so how do you like if say Star Wars, for example, because you have thousands of little groups, right? And you give the Trade Federation, they make them ultra capitalist and with Chinese accents.
I'm a nerd. I'm not this big of a nerd. I don't like Star Wars as a
sure, but I mean, you can imagine a scenario. What if it's
I have a comparison though? I have a better comparison. Like I think that
I did the rings. Why were the elves white?
Wait, something.
Why are the goblins living in the ground? Is it because they're the Jews? Who knows? It's all.
Wait, let me
get Harry Potter's depiction of the fucking.
The author did some like racist shit.
Yeah, Harry Potter's depiction of the bankers as trolls. Yeah, that was racist. I didn't get it as a kid. Now I'm older. I'm not gonna pretend I didn't know what that meant. Like I can't. I know that was like a effed up offensive Jew joke. It was. Like but Lactoid. I'm sure you could say that. You're like, oh yeah, that was about they were supposed to be Jews.
Wait, hold on. So you're just saying goblins inherently are racist? Just to have goblins out of anything is because hold on, goblins.
It's the goblins of the hook noses that they have,
and the money and the obsession with gold, and
the picture being painted.
So goblins as a concept, you can't use goblins in any work, otherwise it's racist. Because
no. That's not what we said. Not what we said. Specifically,
if you make them bankers, the way they use it, specific context.
And Lactoid can't understand this because again, you can't look in anyone.
But they use it in the Lord of the Rings in a similar context.
In terms, like, fuck the Lord of the Rings. I don't give a fuck about that, right? Why are you thinking? I think any of these things are sacred.
Okay, can you name one use of goblins that's not racist?
That's why Fast and Furious was the greatest movie franchise ever.
Goblin Slayer. You can use that. Hold on.
No racism. It's all about family, baby.
Specifically, why are you talking over me? You can use that. Those guys, but specifically in the way it was used in Harry Potter, right? Using them, I guess they were goblins, with their hook noses, desperately loving money and being greedy, right? Yes, those are specific, it's a specific caricature of Jews, right? That's what it is. That I didn't make it up. That's just how it is. And that's what she chose to do.
Yeah,
and if you look at the racial politics
goblins,
if you look at the racial politics of Harry Potter, right? There's more than that, right? You actually dig deeper, you see a lot of fucked up shit that she put in there, right? Like people have like looked into this. Now that they're not children anymore, just like what Bam said, right? Like now they're not children who just loved it uncritically, right? They can look at these things like, hey, maybe this was actually kind of fucked up. As an adult, you get to do that. You get to reassess these things, and that's okay too.
Yeah, but sure.
Let me get this super chat out, and then
what is the concept?
The super chat, and then go straight to you. Super chat, yeah, quickly. My listening library, YouTube says, I think the whole vid was a setup for the Obama's part. Believe it or not, racist people will get the quote unquote punchline. It wasn't funny to non-racists. Yeah. This was a dog whistle to racists.
So I'm not racist then because I didn't find it funny.
I've never called you racist. I think you're a useful idiot for racist.
You're just a hand washer for racism.
I mean, I know, I get you. You're basically saying it's a dog whistle. My listening library, right? Yeah, and that's what they think. The funny part is that Obama is a monkey, right? And they'll laugh at that. But again, Lactoid can't can't manage, can't figure it out.
No, that could have been the motivation of the creator. It's possible.
It could have been. Could have been.
What's the likelihood over under?
I don't fucking know.
He doesn't know. He's still working the
calculations.
Wait a minute.
I think the likelihood of it being like from Trump or his staff or being intentionally racist is like sub. I think it's like
not Trump.
Sub 1%. In terms of the actual
person who made the original video.
The person who made the original video.
It's not sure.
40%.
You'd place money. I mean,
do you think he made JB Pritzker the elephant because he's fat? What would your odds be on that? Or do you think he just thought
maybe
looked like
maybe? But again, doesn't that sort of feed into the idea that maybe the actor or the creator of the video is just putting people in the position, like the animal positions?
Was anyone else's wife
that he thought
in the video that isn't a politician? No, was anyone else's wife who isn't a politician?
What about a Black Panther? Hold on. What about a Black Panther for the Obamas then? They're in the jungle. A Black Panther.
I mean,
maybe. Then you're calling a terrorist.
Maybe he didn't. I mean, Black Panther has a little bit of connotation to itself as well.
Yeah. Oh, the connotations.
Maybe they were cognizant of that, so they chose the monkey instead.
Okay.
Cognizant of Wakanda forever.
I don't know why they picked Panther. Maybe they didn't think that Michelle Obama or Obama looked. Is a panther in Lion King?
Yeah, they thought it looked more like monkeys. Yeah, that made more sense to Lactoid. They looked more like monkeys.
I don't know if anybody else's wife. Let me look it up.
No one else's wife was used, which is kind of like also indicative, right? They used the Obamas as a couple. And to Bam's point, once again, the Michelle Obama being a man is a large racist trope. It's not even a small one.
Yep. Let's go to our friend Gibbs. He's been waiting. Go
ahead. I listen. I hesitate here whenever we start coming after humor for with the race. Okay, because what's going to happen is you're going to look at something like the Goblins. Okay, do I think that J.K. Rowling made the Goblins look and act like Jews? Was that the implication? Absolutely. Right. I look at maybe Tolkien when he did the orcs. I don't think that he did do that so much as it was a battle against modernization versus old, style living, because, they represent all this stuff and all this bullshit. I don't know that. But however, the goblins, if you look at goblin characteristics, I just did a quick AI search real quick on Google AI. That's what he's going to say. And it says, yeah, right. So, but it's typically characterized by green, yellow, or gray skin, pointed ears, mischievous or greedy nature, and they're short. They dwell in caves, mines, hustles, where they cause disruptions to items and sometimes exhibit magical abilities. Now, there's a couple other groups, I guess, people could point and say that they could represent, but that's also arguably racist, right? But it's my argument then is if we're going to have fantasy writing, or if we're going to have sci-fi, this is why I wanted to use the Trade Federation, but nobody wanted to do that. Whenever, if you're going to have yeah, but sure. But if we're gonna just X out certain descriptions of people because it's racist, then we're okay, have y'all seen that movie Sing? Where it's all the animals and they sing, and they have the little gay gorilla kids sing, and then the dad that's in jail.
I know about it. Yeah.
All right. Well, I don't know what voice the dad had, but he was like a criminal in jail and was like you know, a gorilla. Someone could argue that was racist, right? But they didn't, because it's like a whole like wholesome message. The dad's accepting his son for who he is, all this thing. And like at what point, okay, well now we're going, oh, this guy's in jail and he's a gorilla. That's racist, Lord and Lord. Like, I mean, can we not even have like jokes anymore? Like what's the line?
I mean, it depends.
Like,
if you go to the jail and it's just like, you know, majority gorillas, right? And it seems a little indicative of what's going on, and maybe it's not a joke.
Well, it wasn't only gorillas. It was.
I know. I'm
like
just saying. Like you said, at what point? I said, well, at a certain point, like, yeah, if the focus is like all the gorillas are in jail and all the other, because like that's what like Zootopia, right? With Zootopia, it was like certain animals were looked at as
well, I think that Prime brought up a good example with the hyenas, though, right? Like, so they had Whoopi Goldberg as the voice, who's like as one of them, I believe.
Who Goldberg?
She's African American. Whoopi Goldberg, right?
Okay.
And she's African American, and the argument was, and she even kind of gave like a little whiff thing on that. And like, okay, the arguments, are they calling hyenas black people? Well, then the next scene you see is them doing the Sieg Heil marching, right? Well, now it's clearly they're implicating that they're like the poor Germans from 1930s. And
I think the issue.
Federation,
Whoopi
they have
Goldberg's
like
Jewish
accent, and then give them like a money like thing. Like, it's kind of like, can you not use tropes? Or are we just going to get rid of all tropes now? Like,
so like the issue is like there's a history in America of like comparison of black people to animals, and so like yeah, it becomes this weird thing. Like I saw it was a TikTok or something of like how in like a lot of the black animations, the black character never gets to remain themselves. They have to either they usually transform into something, right? Like Princess and the Frog, she's a frog for most of the movie. The movie Soul, he like was a literal just floating entity for the most of the movie. And so it's like, yeah, black people don't get to be people throughout their experiences, throughout their movies, so on and so forth. So it's like not like that. And then the history of like calling black people monkeys, it's just like you can avoid that if you don't want to like black people can be other animals, right? They don't always have to be the monkeys. And so like this is it just feels and is a very specific choice. It feels like a deliberate choice. And once again, it just is a deliberate choice. That's the point I'm trying to get you to see, is like, if it was funny, I'd be like, all right, cool. Listen, you made an Obama joke. It's fine. But like, wasn't funny. It was cringe. And like, once again, I'm just trying to get you to see, like, there was a deliberate choice being
looks
made.
Like a turtle. Would that be funny if I like compared him like not turtly enough with Turtle Club or Mitch McConnell? Would that be like,
people already do that?
Like, is that a funny joke? Yeah, people already do, right? And it's funny. Some people find it funny. Some people think it's played out. Like, are you the like overseer of all humor?
I don't
like,
think
you're stick whatever.
I think him taking the video down is kind of indicative of that.
But that's unique to Mitch McConnell. I don't think they're doing that to white people. As far as I know, they're not doing it to white people overall. There's a key difference.
Yeah, it's honky.
Okay, fine. What about like every bad
guy
being a white guy? Like, I mean, we can do that. Every white guy in every movie or TV shows now, it's just some like white guy. Like, you want to talk about
white people have most of those,
some like British
what are you talking
person,
about?
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't. Sorry, this is a big distraction.
I mean, this is why it's ridiculous.
I don't want to do this whole thing. Sorry, like this is a big distraction from the topic at hand. I want to get back to what we were discussing.
Oh, this is on topic. We're talking about the racism of the characters. Listen, I don't want to sound like a dick, but like this is way more related to the topic. This is way more related to the topic where we can talk about humor with this than say your problems with Biden's Israeli policy. I thought we were talking about, is this Trump thing racist that he did? Like is this like a modern thing that we want for the president? And if we can't even argue over whether or not it's good to have racism as a joke, or we can have that as a joke, then how are we supposed to argue about if he's a moral actor?
Should the president of the United States, right, be using be doing race jokes? Period. Yeah, like yeah.
Like even if you're pro edgy humor, like does the president have to do edgy humor? Can that be like not for him? Like let somebody else do edgy humor?
Why?
Yeah,
that's the conversation, because I think the president.
Well, I'm asking why. Like, are you taking the position that the president should never be able to do edgy humor?
Close to it. Yeah,
why?
pretty close.
Why? Is
I believe that the president of the United States role, just like lots of people in far lower positions than him, should be, like I said, to a better degree, a moral representation for what it means to be a good American and what someone children can look up to.
Yeah, like, but couldn't edgy humor allow him to communicate to his base, or communicate even to the people in a way that
could he
more easily understand?
Would you find it appropriate? I don't want the president saying anything like I don't want my president to say something that a 10-year-old can't watch and see and understand. And
I like that.
Inappropriate.
I like that, Dan. I think part of why we broke away from the UK is to like break, and then why Texas broke away from Mexico is part of that is we don't want this old established like standard where it's stiff. We want to be Americans. We want to like say things off the cuff. Like we want to be unique or cowboys. Like that's
I want to be.
like,
I want to be unique enough.
Some Obama was,
and I also want my child to be able to look up to you as like I want to be able to take you to a place and know that like oh,
wait,
okay,
do you have heroes as a kid that were sometimes bad, like that did something bad? Like was Muhammad Ali like perfect? How about Mike Tyson? Were they perfect? No, but people can look up to these people as
Mike
heroes
Tyson should not be a hero. I'd say. I
mean, as a boxer, he's a boxer.
Yeah, he beat the shit out of his wife. Yeah.
So if you're a boxer and you want to emulate Mike Tyson's style, could he not? Hold on. Yeah, so hold on. So he's a bad guy, right? But could his
that was his role? He was somebody.
Yeah, but his boxing style could be something that you emulate and want to like aspire to be.
Yes, that's not a we're gonna get into like what is a hero? That's not
different
like,
from like.
Are you saying it can't be a hero in the ring?
His technique is different from his character. We can understand that. Like, and maybe we can discuss this in a second, right? Like, no, like the idea of separating the art from the artist, right? Like, hey, like, I think that J.K. Rowling is a garbage human being, right? She's disgusting scum, right? But a person can enjoy the Harry Potter series without that, right? Michael Jackson, lots of questions there, right? Big questions.
R. Kelly.
But you can still enjoy his music without that. And then talking about Mike Tyson, you can say that yes, he was a skilled boxer, right? Yeah, but he was a champion and all that, right? And that could be something you want to emulate, but not him as a person, the wife beater.
I think he would even say as much. I think Mike Tyson would say, I was a bad person. I wanted to hurt others. I was a monster. No one liked me. Like, I don't think he would say that, like, I'm the person your children should be looking up to. Mike Tyson wouldn't say that.
Yeah, but
because I'm fucked up. I'm fucked up in the head.
Like at this point, but the problem is everybody got their warts. Like, if you're just gonna get rid of everybody, then everybody's got.
No, we're not getting rid of everybody.
This is what Lacto is talking about, though. Y'all like just like blowing him off. Is that y'all have these like moral and y'all call them standards, but it's like really like this rigid line that if anybody passes anything ever, then you can't.
It's called a standard.
Genocide.
Sure.
So
such
rigid lines. Amazing.
I think there's 340 million Americans, probably up to 350. I think we can find one.
If you put
like
the shoe,
decent and morally upright.
Hold on.
But I think
Charlie Kirk wasn't a child groper or none of this stuff, right? And like when he died, after racist. So like this,
I didn't like Charlie.
There's no standard.
There's no standard. Like anybody, you can pick
shit.
This is my point. Okay, cool. But you can pick.
No, he said like specifically racist shit, and then you just ignored that, and then you're like, "Oh my god, why not Charlie Kirk? Why don't you let
Larry Bird? What about pick Larry Bird? What's wrong with Larry Bird? My point is, you could pick.
Larry Bird said racist shit. I don't know anything about
everybody does something one bad, right? Like this is my point. If I go pick I don't know, anybody can say something bad.
Platform. He used his platform to do that. I don't know. Again, I don't know anything about Larry Bird. So I'm making a statement about Larry Bird. I have no idea. Right, but Larry Bird, as far as I understand, I could be wrong, I don't know, right? He didn't use his platform to do racist shit. He might have said something in the background, right? Like, or to his friends that came out later that was racist. And okay, that's something to take into account. That's something to judge, right? If some people want to throw him away, that's their business, whatever, right? Others can look past that. That's fair, right? Charlie Kirk used his platform, his political platform, to push racist messages. That's what he did. That's how he made his money. That's how he put food on the table for his fucking kids. That's the issue. That's the issue. That's a different thing. Can we understand that?
I think that Charlie Kirk was of higher moral standard than Trump. And I agree with everything Trump said. I mean, what the Prime said. I think that Charlie Kirk was actually a more morally upstanding than Trump. It's crazy as that.
You probably had stronger principles than Trump. I can probably attest.
Probably. Sure. Actually, I would actually, now that I think about it, I would agree with him. That's how awful Trump is. And so like I'll take this other position, right? And so my position is different from Bam. It's different from everyone else's as far as I can tell. But and I've said this before in other streams, right? But I actually I appreciate Trump. I think Trump being in the office the way that he is a good thing. Trump Lactor, are you still there? Are you frozen? Just making sure. You look frozen for a second.
Sorry, still for a while.
Right. You just no. That was that's not your fault. I thought you were frozen. Just checking. Trump being the drooling idiot, the moron, the evil the mean-spirited evil person that he is fantastic. The America, how Americans have looked at the presidency has fallen. Simple as that, right? It's just like a fact. The way that people feel about the presidency, they're more skeptical of power. They're more skeptical of the office, right? They have less respect for the office. That's a good thing. Around the world, right? People have less respect for America. They give less grace to the American imperial machine. That's a good thing. We should want to debase the presidency. The presidency isn't something that should command some great level of respect, right? And which you put a lot of weight on the words of the individual there. No, the people there who, as I was saying previously, are actually awful, right? Joe Biden should be in jail. Absolutely, right? You can make a case for Obama. You can certainly make a case for Bush, right? There's a lot of war criminals that should be in jail. We should debase them, right? We should make it clear that these people are just regular human beings, or actually worse than regular, right? Regular human beings wouldn't do all the awful things that they get up to, right? So they're worse than regular human beings. We should debase the office. We should make it so that people, when you hear power talking, right, always come at it with a level of skepticism. That's a good thing for civic politics. That you don't have an initial respect, right? You don't defer to authority. Instead, you question authority always, right? I love that. People don't have the respect for the presidency because of President Trump, and so I thank him for that. Thank you for being an idiot. Thank you for being mean, right? Thank you for being an evil piece of shit, right? You've done so much good for my political cause, and I appreciate you for that. We got to thank our president sometime, right? When's the last time you said thank you to your president?
That's a terrible, like, I'm about to say, this is just off topic, but relevant to what you just said. I think what you just said came off to, I think 99% of normal people is like, oh, okay, you have a movement that doesn't want better for the country. You want to destroy it, and it fails the entire American, and that's why you can't win it.
I don't care.
No, I think that once again, like everybody who blames Trump or any particular president for anything like this, I think they're just wrong. Posted a Pew graph in the group chat. If you go through it, look at the periods in which Trump is president. No significant decline. The major decline appears to happen in 2001.
Decline in what?
Trust in the government.
Okay.
I'm about to say, after 9/11, didn't Bush have
but that's like a bottoming out. I think it'd just be like a floor. Like, since you hit the floor, you can't go
back in the 60s, we were in the high 70 percentages, and then starts going down. Johnson, Nixon going down, Ford going down.
Yeah, but I'm talking about like at around 2016. At around 2016, when Trump, and again, rather it seems to plateau at around 2008 when Obama ish.
Yeah, but part of this,
so it declines more than under Obama than it did Trump.
Yeah, but part of this,
if we want to hyperfixate on this,
that y'all ignoring here is like I've seen recent polling, and it shows that people that voted for Trump are most MAGA or whatever. They're like, a lot of Republicans they're putting in like 70-80%, right? They like it. And then what happens is what we're doing right now is, for years, one side is called the other side Nazis, racist, all these different things for decades. Like, as long as I can remember back, that's what's been happening. If you think a certain way, one side will call you racist. And then we get here, it's like, okay, everybody's been called all these things. You get somebody that speaks off the cuff like Trump, and you get him in here, and now y'all are like, oh, we want this decorum. And it's like, well, first of all, one side hasn't had decorum, and it feels like it. And two, it's like, I think this is refreshing that we have a president doing this. Because
example.
Oh, wait. You
what side doesn't have decorum?
Yeah, I think he's saying Democrats. He's saying the Democrats have, because the Democrats call the Republicans racist and Nazis and shit.
Yeah,
leadership. Don't talk about random dude on Twitter.
So Gibbs, fine. You do this all the time where you conflate.
It's been the media and all this shit for years, right? Years and years. And finally, it's like, okay, one side's going to get back in the muck, get in the muck with y'all. And then they get in the muck, and Trump gets in the muck, and y'all freak out. And it's like, okay, so like, y'all swung it so one way. Yeah, the precedent is that we used to have a president that go and duel people. Like, I mean, are you like, what is the precedent, bro? Like,
no, it's the president. So like, if Obama,
I don't like these like uppity, like holder, like class structures that Bam is advocating for. He wants like, oh, an old British genteel, like government kind of person, like sitting there where they're sitting there. I don't want that. I'm tired of that shit.
It doesn't have to be that.
It's American.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be that. It's just. Well, once again, you want someone who's American, and then like it's the race. If Obama's sitting here sharing tweets about like crackers and like honkies and this, that, and the other, you guys would have gone crazy. You're gonna say you wouldn't go crazy now because it's not gonna matter. It didn't happen. But the fact of the matter is if you switch it around, you guys have, at least I know Lactoids complained about like white racism, especially like white men, right? White men are like hated in this country, so on and so forth. And finally, white men made a comeback after Trump. But like, yeah, if black politicians and like the president were tweeting and doing these types of situations,
they do this thing already.
When did president call anyone a cracker? When did Obama call anyone a cracker?
Member of Congress, right? Like I can think of other examples. I mean, Ilhan Omar said some pretty racist or vaguely racist things to somebody who was trying to like press her about shit the other day. Like, I mean, like we could go through
the other day. You just keep always saying that Ilhan Omar has done some awful thing. Like, give us a quote. Because I specifically don't trust you, Gibbs.
Oh, and y'all did maybe pull this up last time, and I pulled up.
You were wrong about her net wealth. You were wildly wrong.
I'm not wildly wrong about her net wealth. I didn't say it was her net wealth. I said it was her husband's, right? It's her husband. I didn't understand. Hold on, you provided multiple sources. You provided zero sources. This is bullshit, Brian. I don't accept this. I don't accept because I'm the one that provides sources. I provide more. You're the one freaking out.
It doesn't matter.
You're impeding my credibility. You never once provided a source where I provided multiple sources. If one of us provides sources, it's me. You're not providing sources.
You're going to.
I provided triple the amount of sources.
I'm going to meet you. If you're going to make accusations about Ilhan Omar, I'll take you off the screen, no problem. If you're going to make accusations about Ilhan Omar on this platform, no one can hear you, don't worry. If you're going to make accusations about Ilhan Omar's platform, you're going to provide sources because you make up bullshit all the time, right? You make up bullshit about this specific woman. I'm not going to have it, right? So, right, if you're saying, hey, if she said something racist, go ahead, provide us the article. We'll take a look at the article. We're happy to take a look at the article. Well, I want to have the conversation. If you did something bad, that's okay, right? But I'm not going to accept it. So, once again, do you have it? Do you have the source? I'll put you back on screen.
Crazy work that you're going to sit here and say this. Like when I'm the one who press the sources more than anybody here, and I do it every time.
You're the one that makes the most wildest of claims. You make claims.
I just muted on my end for some reason. It's muted. But I, for one, have sitting here provided multiple sources almost every time I'm asked. I have to go get them.
Okay, well then do it again.
But I'll go get videos. They'll sit here and say the same thing over and over and over. Prime never provides a source because he hosts the panel, and you're going to sit here and impede what I do. Whenever I'll find this is really the one that got me. A little while back, I provided 8 sources one time to prove something. Prime found one source, and then a sentence in the source disagreed, and then later in the source you provided, it agreed with me. So when we're going to talk about source providing, I provide infinitely more sources than you. So if we're going to talk about credibility, maybe start providing sources because I provide sources every time for these accusations. Just like when you said this about
and I don't make nearly as many insane claims as you do. So once again, right? Still, don't care, don't give a fuck. If you want to do this, right, provide a source. Simple as that, right? So if you got something about Ilhan Omar, he doesn't realize we can't hear him. But if you want to make the claim, go ahead, provide the source, and we can judge it. But you just did a lot of bullshit. I trusted you before. I didn't ask you for a source about the Ilhan Omar thing in terms of her net wealth, right? Republicans are saying some nonsense. I'm like, all right, maybe this is right. Lots of representatives use their position to enrich themselves. And I didn't want to think about Ilhan Omar, but it might be a case, right? Then I look into it, obviously the complete wrong. So we're waiting on it. I guess it ran out of batteries. So we can wait on.
I don't know.
Test.
I just even if it were, it's not true from every piece of information I've looked at. I just can't have these conversations seriously whenever we don't care that Trump made $3 billion last year.
A billion.
Can
like
we?
1 billion.
So I posted.
No,
so I want to
billion.
address the
Okay.
thing that was stated earlier that I posted a source about. This is from Pew Research, very credible source, I would argue. The biggest gains in trust in government appear to be under Reagan and Clinton, and the biggest drop is under George W. Bush. And there's also a drop, pretty significant drops with Johnson and Nixon. When you look at like Obama, like remember, classy George W. or classy Obama. Like, yeah, George Bush's drop is way more than Obama, not denying that. But like, it's not like Obama presided over some massive trust in government. In fact, it's dropped slightly more compared to Trump.
Yeah, people that like people don't like Obama.
Okay, like, but back to it.
I don't know if it was reasonable, but
from Obama onwards, it seems like it's largely like plateaued in terms of like it just hovers around like 19 to 25%. And so it's like,
well, hold on, Corey. Remember the claim that was made. This is a clown of a man who is undermining the American trust in government. And looking at the actual polling, this doesn't, like, you're making the affirmative claim. You're the one claiming that the Trump has
I'm not making
okay, but Prime was. And the claim is that Trump has shifted the grounds of how we even view the presidency. If anything, you could argue that George W. Bush did. In fact, I rail on George W. Bush constantly. I've said that he's the worst president. I've said that he's worse than Biden. I've said that he's worse than Obama. And it appears like the polls would agree. Most Americans, at least at the time, would agree with me. Now, I understand there's a nostalgia effect where people look back and they say, oh, yeah, Bush was great, actually. He could talk in complete sentences. Do
you think I was going to say Bush is great?
Maybe not you. Fair enough. Maybe not you. But you did kind of, I think, put Trump as an outlier. You did say, like, thank God for Trump being such a buffoon that he has tanked Americans' faith in government. You can think he is, but he hasn't tanked America's faith in government. He's kept it.
Well, if
Bush,
you're tracking from Trump to Biden, do you recognize there's like a 2% increase from Trump 1 to Biden?
Yeah. So like so Trump goes from what 19 to 20, roughly 20 or 24. So, really about like if we average it out, like a 2% bump. And then Biden goes from like a 24 to a 7 to really a 19. So, that's like a couple, like 2% loss. And then Trump so far has went from a 19 to 17, so a 2% loss. These are tiny percentages compared to Bush, who went from 60 to 26.
But wait,
I wouldn't disagree that.
I was going to say about that Bush is inflated. Like post 9/11 was the most probably.
I agree. Post 9/11 was one of the worst periods of time, like in terms of policy, one of the worst periods of time in American history. True.
It's not about it being worse. It was like he had gained a massive high. Like didn't he have his approval rating? It hit like mid 60s.
You're right. You're right. Yeah, it hit a high.
It was manufactured. Like it was impossible to maintain.
But it wasn't that manufactured.
Kids started dying.
It wasn't that manufactured because most of the boost, at least the trust in government, had increased during Clinton, and then it declined during HW, and then it increased during Reagan. So it seems like Reagan and Clinton are like the best presidents according to trust in government.
But I'm sure, but that's like the spike lines up identically with 9/11. Like the Bush's
one of the
peak.
There is a peak that lines up with 9/11, but he still tanks the trust in government far below what Clinton got it to.
But I think that's just because people's actual kids were dying.
Like, I don't think that's what it was. Maybe that's part of, like, I don't know what percentage of the people who are directly affected by deploying soldiers this poll was taking. I'm assuming not a majority. What I think is the reason why people...
They're actual kids. I'm just saying that, like, the
right.
war as it happened.
The war,
it was like,
Bush's
we were united.
War.
It was like, because I was in, I can't remember what grade I was in, like first grade, and I was ready to go to war after 9/11. Like I heard about it. Like it was like, okay, this is like we're here. We're united.
And you were a kid, so we could forgive you for that.
Sure.
But the adults that were running our country, we can't.
No, everyone in the United States was ready to go to war post 9/11. There wasn't.
For a brief period, like there's a reason why there's that trend downwards.
Yeah, it trends down afterwards because like people start dying.
Also, we went through Iraq in like 2003, by the way. So it was like 2 years after.
It's not only just the people started dying. Like there's many things that were going on during the presidency.
I'm looking at. Sorry, and I might be missing something. If I am, I'm not trying to misrepresent your data. Okay, right? I'm just like looking at like the first graph here. Public trust in government near historic lows. And it's talking about currently, and like it's judging. There's a slight spike in one of the polls here for Trump, right, in his first term, but like it was at 17%, like polls for Trump, right? Like it was like 18%, then 17%, a slight spike to 27%. That's near the end, true. And then it goes down to
checks.
Yeah, we're looking
at probably 20%. I'm looking at this.
Yeah. We're looking at the declines because if we're just gonna like look at the overall percentages, it's low under Trump. It's equally low under the end of Obama. Was Obama responsible for the decline? I mean, looking at the declines here, it would seem like George W. Bush is most responsible.
That's fair. I think. Well, I mean, like if you're saying that, like, there was a destruction. Okay, no, I see what you're trying to say.
George W. Bush destroyed Americans' faith in government.
Destroyed Americans' trust, and then it hasn't come back. No, I know. I think you're making a fair point here, and so I'm going to give this to you. Yeah. Under the Bush administration, coming, like you can just see it coming into it, like. Under Clinton, it rose, right? Yep. Like trust in government rose to an all-time high, and then
recovered from Bush 1, and then Bush
9/11
Bush tanked it again. So the Bushes did most damage.
And 9/11 happens, and there's a massive spike. That's the highest spike here, right? It's like this is taken right after the 2001 9/11 attacks, right? 60% is a spike within modern history, and then. Yes, and then it starts to decline from there. Specifically, with Trump, we see lows, but then we had even a lower point with Obama. In one poll, it says at 10%. That's fair.
And the aggregate at the end of Obama's term, it was lower than the beginning of Obama's term, which you can't say for at least the Trump first term. Trump ended slightly more, slightly increased compared to Obama.
I don't disagree with that. But we have no. Like I think we have to take a factor into account because it's like it's a little bit strange that Trump is increasing trust in the government and then he's voted out. Like as in like it could just be like sort of like there's some as in sort of optimistically since Biden won, as in like erosion of trust from Trump. Because like if you see towards the end, like the last numbers like. August 2020. That's like right before the election. Okay. And so it's like, it could just be the fact that like increasing trust in the government is a factor of like, oh, we see that Biden's going to come into office.
I mean, it goes up in April of 2020. Like if you in March of 2019,
April 2021, it goes up to 24%. And then April of 20,
hold on, it goes from 17% in March of 2019 up to 21% in April of 2024. And that's just the smooth trend. If we go to the individual polls, even higher at 27%.
April 20. Sorry. Hold on. No, 2024. Hold on. Looking at 2020, right? Following yes, COVID. We have April 20. But looking at April 2020, there's a spike.
That's when the CARES Act passed. Was at the end of March, start of April 2020.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
like we started giving out stimulus checks, and people liked the government for a bit.
There's a spike for the stimulus checks, right? So we have the pandemic. The government gives unfortunately,
we pause student loans
once in generation infusion into the economy, right? But it does happen under Trump. It does happen under Trump, right? Though a once in a generation infusion of the American economy. As soon as that's done, it slides right back, and then there's a spike when Biden comes into office, like immediately afterwards. So yes, right there, April 2021.
Okay, and then it immediately declines down to 17% by the time he leaves.
Yeah, because of the genocide. Yeah, exactly.
That's no. That is even among Democrats, that wasn't like a particularly large polling issue. I'm sorry. I understand that you care about this a lot. For most Democrats, they really weren't putting this first and foremost, and Republicans weren't caring at all. This wasn't like a thing amongst most people.
That's definitely the case. That's definitely the
case. But again, we're haggling. We're haggling over. We're haggling over like 1 to 2 percentages. Again, we're haggling over 1 to 2 percentages, and I'm pointing out that technically speaking, Obama dropped like 2 percentages or something, 2 or 3 percentages.
No,
and Trump technically went up 2 percentages.
No. No, hon, I'm gonna give you. I'm gonna give you what you want, right?
Okay.
It seems like in terms of Americans' views of the presidency, that it's just so low that there really isn't anywhere else to go.
Okay.
That's fair.
Fair enough.
There's nowhere else.
Well,
right?
that was my original point.
Okay, so it wasn't Trump then, though. It wasn't Trump then.
How do you get past 16%? As far as I can tell, 16% is the lowest here, right? How do you get past that? Yeah, there's literally nowhere else to go.
That's the lowest is 10%. That was Obama in October of 2000.
Was that? Oh no, you're correct. I didn't see that one. No, that's fair. But
what happened at that time? I don't even know.
And the 16% was also under Biden. So.
Yeah, 16% was under Biden. Yeah, 70%, 16% Trump, and Biden. No, that's fair.
Technically, right? Obama has the lowest poll of any president on this chart.
But in any case, no. But it works for me. But it still works for me because I don't care where it comes from. Right, like I said, like I was thanking Trump for his buffoonery, and I'm curious if we can find polls specifically dealing with the foreigners. So I was trying to look for while I was talking to you, how the world looks at us, because I suspect we'd find something different.
I'm sure foreigners probably dislike Trump more. That's my guess.
Yeah, and again, that works for me. This helps. We shouldn't. They shouldn't have respect for the United States in that same way. They should have skepticism to the United States, because the United States uses that, right, to brutalize other people. That's what we use this for, right? This grace that others give us, and like the U.S. is being shown, right, for the duplicitous and violent country that it is, and that's a good thing. So y'all are also President Trump for that.
But y'all are skipping a big thing, and this is kind of, I wish, I don't know, Bam's still here, whatever, but I'm sure you, but like,
he might leave. He's gone, unfortunately.
Oh, okay. Well, y'all are kind of skipping the thing, and this is kind of the Corey just said, right? And this is the problem I keep coming up with, like, to Ali, right? You go, it's very, like, one, it's, y'all want this established decorum thing. You want the old, like, guard. You want this kind of, like idea, this mentality, right?
I don't want that.
I know you don't. I know you do. That's why I said, Bam, he was advocating that. But here's the thing with Ali, what you're saying, though, is, okay, if you look at polling within Republican Party, the Republican Party, and a lot of the people, especially the MAGA specific identifiers, they are very, very happy with what Trump is doing, right? They voted him in. They're getting what they want right now. This is the problem I have with what you're doing, Ollie. You're going, okay, these people have won their election and they're getting the policies they want, and you're going, fuck those people. Now, at least with Prime, he's a purist. He doesn't like either of these people on either side. But what you're doing is actually arguably worse, right? You're going to sit here and pretend you're like Prime, but in reality, you're like, oh, I only don't give a shit about what half the people do. You're actually more like me. At least with me, I'm honest, say, I don't give a fuck what these people think. I only want what's best for me. You're not doing that. You should be doing that, because that's what you're actually doing, is you're going, oh, these people are putting policy forth that I don't like. Fuck them. Whenever people that voted for that policy are super excited. So what are you telling those people? Well, you're saying you don't give a fuck about what any of those people that voted are getting what they wanted. You don't care about those people. You think those people are just bad people. And so when they're finally getting what they want, you're going, well, who voted for this? Well, half the country did. Right?
That's actually not what that's not what I've been saying at all. I've been saying that, okay, so actually I said this specifically. It seems that I said the leftists are right when they complain about like Democrats, or when they complain about like the left or liberals or whatever it may be, because Republicans, especially MAGA, vote their guy in, their guy comes in, Trump comes in and just executive orders out the fucking ass, does whatever the fuck he wants, and you guys get everything you want, versus like Democrats, especially like establishment Democrats or whatever, seem to like tote the line or try to play things more democratically, or like be more pragmatic or whatever it may be. But like, what's going to be your argument when, if leftists start voting in their guys, if their guys start winning, and then their executive orders come left and right? Like we're getting like very polarized. We're getting to like too far extremes, right? And what I was saying in terms of like decorum is that, yeah, I don't want the presidents to end up like just picking like whose bully is strongest, because then we just really don't have a country. Then we are just kind of at war. You're muted.
But it's kind of this thing, right, where we just talked about how Bush destroyed trust in the government. Y'all just talked about this, right? That's the old school neocons. It's like whatever. And then you have these people that are arguing about the uniparty, right? They've been saying the neolibs, the neocons, they're in cahoots for decades now. But they finally have power now, right? And first they tried with Bernie, right? He was the populist answer from the left, and it didn't work out. He got screwed by the neo-libs and then maybe the Uniparty, right? Trump bulldozed through and was able to get his populist agenda, and that's the populist answer from the right currently, right? And so these people are finally in power. The reason why you're seeing so much change so quickly, arguably, is because he's a new group. He's coming in here and gutting the old establishment, which is the neocons and the neolibs, who had formed a slightly uniparty where it would swing only so far this way and then so far back this way. And he's shaking the tree. And this is what these people want. And whenever y'all go, oh, well, let's slow this down, you're basically saying that we don't care about any of those people's opinions. And I think that's the bigger issue.
So for me, the discussion was less about caring about the people's opinions. You guys voted for Trump. You guys want all of this, right? You're getting what you want. And so, like, my just question is, like, what comes next? Because if we're talking about like
Greenland,
Trump in terms of
Cuba,
right?
Hopefully
but
Cuba.
Wait. We say Greenland, but like, look how we just treated like one of our Puerto Rican American citizens, right? Like we wanted them. There were people who were calling for ICE. They wasn't allowed at the Super Bowl, Spanish, so on and so forth. So that's going to happen with Greenland too, right? Like Greenlanders aren't going to be Americans, right? They're going to be part of the American territory. They're going to be second class citizens, right? And if any Greenlander says anything about, why would they be rich? Why do
rich people?
We're gonna buy them out
because this one's gonna work correctly, and that's like kind of the issue.
Well, I mean, we've had a history of buying things successfully
to do whatever you want to do. It's nice, it's interesting. But
wait, hold on. Was the Louisiana Purchase successful?
Other side, when it gets
was
to the
Alaska
other side,
Purchase successful?
Problem with it.
Hold on. The Louisiana Purchase, that was successful. How about the Alaska Purchase? That was successful. When it comes to buying shit, we have a track record of doing well when we buy things, right? So if we're gonna buy these people off, nobody gives a shit about rich people coming in here. There's like 60,000 of them.
So,
wait, go ahead, Prem.
Oh, very quickly. I'll go right back to you. Sorry. I will also found a Pew Research poll. I can do it too, Lactoid. And I provided a source, right? Because I do that. Thank you, Gibbs. And yes, if you just look at
first one in months
declines
in other countries. Okay. This is in other countries.
Just for other countries. Yeah.
Yeah. I predicted that'd be the case.
I didn't say you didn't.
I'm just telling the audience how right I am. That's all.
You're right to agree with me. Agree. It makes sense. Anyway, yeah. So there is a market decline from 2004 to 2005 in terms of like how the world looks at the U.S. Except for Israel. Israel apparently likes us more from 2004 to 2025. Sorry.
What a weird anomaly.
Yeah. What a weird anomaly between these 2 years, right? Yeah. And then there's a graph that shows. There was a massive dip in how the world looked at us under Bush, a massive rise under Obama, a massive dip under Trump, a massive rise under Biden, but then it declined steadily over Biden's period because they watched the genocide take place, and then a massive decline, like continuing to decline under Trump so far. In his
I mean, with his spot, like whenever the money is flowing, of course you're gonna like it more than when the money's like
Trump made him pay. That's what's going on.
Yeah. Nobody likes pay.
That's fair. But I just wanted to put that out there. But sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you too. So Gibbs and I
just want to point out one persecuted group in history. They got kicked out of 109 different countries because they made people pay. I'm just saying we're gonna have
I don't know. It's like you mentioned Alaska. We made Alaska a state, and then you mentioned the Panama Canal.
Huh?
I don't know. I'm sorry. Explain. I don't know. What is this? I don't know.
You want me to explain that joke? No, I don't think we're gonna. We'll explain off stream that joke.
Oh, okay. So it was good. All right.
Yeah.
I'm moving on.
So we made Alaska a state. Like, so the purchase is actually just part of like the contribution to the country. And then don't we have like massive issues with like the Panama Canal? Like we opened it, but we don't own it. And then that's why the whole Venezuela thing gives.
Yeah, we should have never gave it back to Panama.
But we
Carter
did.
Got a lot of
right?
shit for doing that.
Yeah, Carter did that fucking bitch ass Carter.
So we made Alaska a state, and then we have X amount of territories. We made Hawaii a state too, right? But then we have the other territories that we kind of just keep in limbo. What's for me to say that like we have 4 territories, 2 that became states, 4 that have it? Why would I assume that Greenland wouldn't be like the other 4? that don't necessarily, that are just kind of living
they
in
might
limbo.
be
Like, well, how come Greenlanders get
be,
rich?
They might be one of the other four. Yeah, they might be in limbo. But
They
looking at looking at Puerto Rico, being in limbo under the United States makes you richer than the other countries that are not in limbo.
No. That's just because Americans keep moving over there, right? So the GDP is going to go up because there's going to be, because like Logan Paul lives on the island, but that's not a Puerto Rican, right? That's not Puerto Ricans getting more money. That's just American mainland. No, that's American mainland.
No, he spends a lot of money there. He spends a ton of money in Puerto Rico
to dodge taxes, right? Because they operate in Puerto Rico, they don't got to pay. You can roll your eyes, but
hold on. Let's just say Logan Paul. Logan Paul even put out a statement against what Jake Paul said, like in favor of Latin American countries and stuff. He said, "I like the Bad Bunny show."
Yeah, because he benefits.
Hold on. Logan Paul's also called Bad Bunny out. Bad Bunny is kind of a controversial figure in Puerto Rico because not just the independence thing, but because allegedly he's got not paid taxes. Allegedly he's done some other stuff that didn't employ Puerto Ricans. Hold on, but Logan Paul. Yeah, but hold on. But it's related to Logan Paul because Logan Paul's called him out for this, and arguably, some people in Puerto Rico don't like Logan Paul because the colonizer mentality. Hold on. But even if he scammed them, one of the things Logan Paul has spent a lot of money employing Puerto Ricans that work there with his studios, in his buildings, in his house. A lot of them have gotten paid. So yeah, he's brought money there. And you said tax evasion? Well, guess what? If he's doing tax evasion, guess where he's parking his money? In Puerto Rico. Guess who's benefiting from that? The Puerto Ricans.
Where did he get the money? Right? He got it.
Putting my money. I don't give a shit. Hold on. If I leave my money in the Cayman Islands and I was evil as shit, whatever, like, well, the people in the Cayman Islands benefiting from my money being there? Are there banking services? Yes.
In the Cayman Islands
and do the banks employ people? Hold on. Oh, wait. Who do the banks employ? Do they employ
a small number of individuals?
Well, I rest my case.
This is a weird thing.
Puerto Ricans are famously living like lavish lives.
Hey, some money is coming.
So you're mad that money is going? People with money are moving to Puerto Rico.
Small number of people. So technically, right? It's better than nobody having that money.
Well, hold on. Well, you can't have it both ways. So why is Texas happy that billionaires are moving to Texas? Why are we excited about that? Why?
The difference in wealth, the wealth disparity, right? And then those few wealthy people made life miserable for the rest of the
what if there was a flying spaghetti monster behind the moon?
Because that's not what happens. Coming in, right? And going to the hands of a few doesn't mean that things are good now, right? And that
nobody said that.
Grateful. Who cares?
We're saying Logan Paul's improving. Hold on, no. That is what I'm saying. But what you're missing is, say Logan Paul comes and spends money there, as opposed to Bad Bunny who takes his money and leaves Puerto Rico with it, right? Logan Paul's going and spending money. He's just why is Texas having a tech boom right now? We have people coming from California fleeing. Why is California mad and trying to tax people that lived there before that, like that have left? Why? Well, because the business owners are moving to Texas, just like Logan Paul's moved to Puerto Rico because the tax structure is better, because the economic opportunity is better. And guess what's happening in Texas? We're having an economic boom. Guess what could happen in Puerto Rico is if these people move there, it's more money being spent there.
Yes, because the average Texan is making money off of this.
Hold on. The average Puerto Rican is making money and more people move there.
Yes, when you look at median income, which is like controlling for the ultra wealthy people that are coming over. In Puerto Rico, it's like significantly higher than like Mexico, at least. I'm checking all the countries, but it's significantly higher. In Puerto Rico, it's the median household income is about $26,000 per year, which is much higher than Mexico. Name me any Latin American country you want; it's going to be higher.
Why is half the island on EBT supposedly? If that's the case, if their median income is going up and they're making and the GDP is so high,
because America's particularly generous with how much food we give people.
That also has nothing to do with
because they don't make enough to sustain because they're living on the island, and you guys want to keep talking about their GDP and the GDP.
No, I'm not talking about GDP. Median income.
But at the same time, like these are people who are living on EBT, so it's like, is their median income going up? Are these people thriving, or is it that some rich people are moving to the island for the tax benefits, and the people of the island don't really benefit from these rich people being there, but the island GDP goes up because the businesses on the island seem to make more money because the rich.
Do people have to work at the rich people's houses?
No,
do people have to work? Like,
it's just
this is the same arguments the Dems used. for the illegal.
Bro, they're making less than minimum wage.
Just look at the stats. Like it's just.
Bro, I know you're not making the illegal immigrant arguments that we make against like y'all not wanting to pay people living wages right now. At least when Logan Paul goes to Puerto Rico, he pays the minimum wage. Hold on, no, because it's important because he's hold on, no, it's because he's been the pinnacle of people coming after him. Hold on, people have been coming after him for moving to Puerto Rico and comparing to Bad Bunny. When Bad Bunny has left to Puerto Rico and taken money with him, while Logan Paul's parked his money there, provided jobs there, and even if these guys are huge pieces of shit, at least they're bringing money. And hold on, well, it's sad, but even at least these people are bringing money to Puerto Rico. They're having. I mean, I know you don't care because you don't actually care about these people there.
I'm the one. Yes, I'm the one who don't care.
That's crazy. It's crazy.
You're the one who,
at least I openly admit this.
To make their lives miserable. The people.
I'm the one. Right? Yeah, I've been there multiple times and spent money there.
I'm the one who doesn't care about them.
Right? I mean, I spent the money there. Y'all don't spend the money there.
Brutalized by the Gestapo organization, by the president.
The Gestapo.
The immigration
policy. The Latin, right? The Latins.
Make their lives more miserable, right? Now, the Puerto Ricans, they're part of America, but hey, the ICE can't tell the difference between them.
And so what happens when they get grabbed? They get sent back to Puerto Rico?
So they brutalize them while they're here when they go to arrest them. So yeah, you've been making the lives of anyone who looks like a Puerto Rican miserable.
What does a Puerto Rican look like?
You pair, yeah. Well, let's ask ICE. What does ICE?
What can you tell me what a Mexican? What is a Mexican? What does a Mexican look like? I feel like these are kind of racist connotations right here. What you're saying?
Hold on, because we have a Supreme Court that says that you can racially stereotype or sorry, what it is discriminate or something when policing, right? You can use racialized policing and go after these individuals. So yeah, it actually matters what ICE thinks about it, not what I think. I'm not the one out there brutalizing them, and you support it. Right. So, okay. Yeah. And then instead, right. And your proof that you don't is that, hey, you like a billionaire that showed up there and maybe dropped a few ducats on the island. Amazing.
I mean, I like it when billionaires drop ducats on anywhere that I'm at.
That's the difference between us. All right, great. All right, sure. No, you're right. I'm the one who hates Puerto Ricans.
Well, I mean, it's the same argument we all do with California. Why is California trying to tax these people running away? Well, it's because these people are taking it to more favorable economic conditions, just like Logan Paul did with Puerto Rico. I mean, it is brilliant. It's reality. It's reality.
Yeah. Okay, great. Brilliant. Any which way, thank you all. We're way over time. I appreciate everyone who came through. This was a lot of fun, especially getting a chance to, as we must always do, right, expose Lactoid for running interference with racists. It's a thing that he does often, and so that was the most important part. But I appreciate him for coming on and defending his defense of racists, and I appreciate everyone else for being here too. I'll let you guys do an outro. Lactoid, go ahead.
So I'm Lactoid, the most based and effective racism defender you will ever see on the internet. You can find me at Lactoid TV on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube.
Okay, thank you. Let's go to our friend Corey.
Well, before I give my outro, I believe Lactoid I think posed the challenge of name a president and he'll find the war crime. So I'll take up the challenge. I'm going to name William Henry Harrison, who I think was
he the one that was in president for like 5 days or something like that?
I think it was like a month or 30 days.
Oh, fuck. That one might be hard.
And I think for like 20 of those 30 days, he was like sick in bed, like with like pneumonia. Like he died in office.
He was a general. He was a general before that, though, so might be able to find something.
No, but I took the challenge as during presidency they committed a war crime.
The one good president in Prime's eyes. The one.
Exactly. But you can find me on.
Well, hold on. What period did he reign over? Right? Was this?
I think it's like 18 something.
Pre-Civil War. I don't know the dates of the Civil War. I apologize, guys. I'm an ignorant American.
I think they were like the 7th or 10th.
Is this
U.S.
Can someone Lactoid? Is this pre-Civil War or post-Civil War?
This is pre-Civil War.
Pre-Civil War.
Yeah.
So he reigned over slave America.
Yeah, he was born on a plantation.
He was born on a plantation. Yeah, fuck that guy. Fuck them all. Put them all in jail. Put them all under the jail. Fuck every single one of these people.
But I think he clears Lactoid's bar.
Lactoid has
war crimes.
Bar, as long as they don't personally rape a child.
Right? Harrison came from a wealthy slave-owning.
I have a president. I'm going to say Garfield. Garfield was pro civil rights for African Americans, pro education, pursued spoils the system. He didn't believe in wanted equality, all these wonderful lefty values. And then he was killed 200 days in, and he was never a general.
Yeah, you could find me on Twitch, Corey Campbell 94, Twitter, X, YouTube, Instagram, Substack, TikTok. It's Corey Campbell. Always a pleasure.
Okay. Thanks so much, friend. And yeah, I don't know anything about Garfield. I won't. Oh, sorry. What, you're gonna say something like
so I'm just reading this right here. William Henry Harrison, before becoming president, was an army general, and he fought at the Battle of Tippecanoe, which apparently was against the Native Americans, which I'm guessing you probably have a problem with. So
that was outside of office, though. No war crimes during office.
Hold on. No, but to be clear, right? What our friend Lactoid said previously is that if in the Epstein files something came out, right, that would have been before
the presidency. Yeah.
Okay. So,
all right.
Yeah.
Fair
so
enough.
they're all awful. I don't know anything about Garfield, right? However, one thing, I'm not going to ask my friend Gibbs for a source. I'm going to take his word on this, right? Because I know he doesn't have an axe to grind like he does against Ilhan Omar, right? So I can trust his words maybe on Garfield. So I'll take your word. Thank you, Gibbs. You're muted, friend.
There's a book about Garfield. It's called From Radical to Unifier. I only know this because I Googled it for the sake of the search, and apparently that's where this information's coming from. Nice guy, apparently. But yeah, it's always fun to come in here and yell and everything. Yeah, and you know what? I'm tired. I'm not racist, but the only color I care about is green. So I'm real mad when people be taking my tax dollars, and that's what we should care about. We should care about where our tax dollars are going and why they need to stay in my pocket. If you like anything I had to say, find me everywhere's Admiral Gibbs.
And why they shouldn't go to the genocidal state of Israel. Let's go to our friend Ali.
What's up? I'm Ali. You can find me on all platforms at My Cousin Ali. I just want to say, honestly, I'm praying every day that Valentina Gomez and Jake Lang get every law thrown at them and they just get locked up in jail forever, because the voter fraud that we were talking about was your homegirl that was running for Texas Congresswoman lied about her address, used the P.O. box as her address, and tried to and now she can't vote in Texas. God bless the state of Texas, okay, for removing this woman's right to vote. God bless Texas and all who inhabit. But yeah, that's and Jake Lang should just stay in jail forever. I love Minnesota. Might be my favorite state in the great country that is
Minnesota. Yeah. Has risen in my opinion. Stuff like the home of the resistance, right? They've been fighting left and right, like continuously, like this, like you know how during the quote unquote civil rights era, right? Like it was down in Alabama and Mississippi is where like the resistance was happening, like right there on the front lines, right? It's Minnesota. Now.
Shout out my Somalis.
Shout out to Minnesota. Shout out to the Somalis.
Get into that money.
Yeah, right.
Ali. Side note: Valentina Gomez was banned in 31 counties by who? The Republican Party. They kicked her out. Not the Texas.
Oh yeah, I mean, bro, because she was making you guys look like idiots, like big old idiots down there, man. She was a bad look. She was a bad look.
We were going to try to raid someone. I'm not sure if this is going to work. I'm not sure if this is a person I tried to raid previously. We've run into an issue where we've tried to raid out and people have like protections on their accounts. It doesn't let me raid them. But once again, for our friend Lactoid, right? As a peace offering to Lactoid, I want to raid out to a girl who has Sweden in her tags, right?
Oh, look at
okay. That. All right. But I'm not sure if this is the last girl I tried to raid who also had Sweden in her tag. So we don't know if it's going to work, right? So we're going to try to raid out to her, right? Someone Lact would appreciate, she's blonde, right? Maybe blue eyes. I can't tell.
Another
right?
Swedish Canadian.
Boobs. Yeah. The type that Lactoid could have on his arm because he's very concerned about that. It's a big thing for him. So let's see if it'll allow me to raid. Oh my God. No, start the raid. Oh my God. Get out of my way, Google. Start the raid. Oh, looks like I can. Yeah, so we're gonna do that raid. Lactoid will maybe go there, maybe find a wife. We'll see. We hope for the best.
Wife in the chat.
They produce Aryan-looking children. Don't do that.
Is Lactoid Aryan?
Okay.
You're Swedish, right, Lactoid?
Yeah.
Aren't like true
Yeah,
English or
very
Anglos
Aryan.
like racist towards like the Swedes and the Finns and so on and so forth?
There's a bunch of racism in Europe.
I think yes. I think the
Yeah.
true English whites, those are the only respected
I'm
whites.
only
Those are
pure
the
on my
Aryans.
mom's side, not pure on my dad's side. So I'm.
Yeah, but now you're a mixed
I'm
race.
mixed.
You're mud blood. You know,
Mongrels.
I'm biracial. Just look at me.
you are biracial.
Oh, I don't
Thanks
think
for
this
being
is
here,
up
guys.
to
Have a good
Lactoid's.
one.
Hey, this person has an OnlyFans, so it's a no go for Lactoid.
He might be able to find his way around it.
Although yes, I guess in Lactoid's world, if they're
around it.
attractive enough, he can overlook it. All right.
Listen, Lactoid's gonna have to find himself a nice Canadian girl. American girls aren't gonna do it for him.
Lactoid has very low standards, as we found out today. So he might be able to make it happen. Not that I think having OnlyFans lowers a person's worth, but like I'm sure I'm doing it from Lactoid's perspective.
I appreciate all of
you,
you.
Finn.
And I'm doing.
Yeah, have a good one.
Have a good night, guys.
Have a wonderful night, guys.
Catch you guys later. We're gonna raid on out. Raid. We're gonna raid on into my boy Ranger. We've been sent to 110 for a little while. Catch you guys later.